Hello and welcome in to Blankenship Field. Alex Myers along with Mike Sheehan. David Clary will be joining us in a matter of mere moments. The Wildcats play host to the Science Hill Hilltoppers tonight as the Wildcats and Oak Ridge take their 9-1 record into the first round of the TSSAA 6A state playoffs. Mike, as I bring you in, I welcome you back into the booth again. It's always good to be at Blankenship Field. It's even better when the weather turns, it gets dark, and the playoffs are here. Mike, these games, they just mean more.
They certainly do, and if you lose, you go home. If you win, you get to go on the road next week. So hopefully we'll win this game, and we'll either be going, it looks like, to Smyrna or Greenville. So we'll see. It ought to be an interesting night tonight with Johnson City 7-3. You know they're pretty good, so we're going to have to bring our A game, Alec.
Last year there was talk about which region Oak Ridge would be in, and there was a lot of talk behind the scenes that the Wildcats might get put in that upper East Tennessee region with the Science Hills, the Dobbins-Bennetts of the world, etc. That did not happen. Instead, they faced what was believed to be an incredibly tough region with the likes of Farragut, Maryville, etc., Bearden, you name them. Oak Ridge was dealt that hand and ran off 9 straight wins to start the season. Last week, a disappointing week. Anybody in the program you talk to would tell you that. Mike, how do they bounce back tonight and refocus? Because at the end of the day, everyone's 0-0 coming into tonight.
They know the seriousness of this, and they really want it so bad. I think the desire is there. They've got the ability. It's going to be a big boost that the Wildcats will be able to come out really strong with Will Presley back is a big boost. They can't just concentrate on Malik or Adam Washington. They've got one more really good athlete to look after. So, and then the defense is going to have to step up and play really good tonight, Alec.
Thank you, Mike. As you hear the train horn going off, the Wildcats in their Cardinal and Cardinal, all cardinaled out tonight, come trotting down the 72 steps, which can mean only one thing. We are mere minutes from football in the Secret City. We'll take a 3-minute timeout. When we come back, David Clary will join us, and we'll have kickoff from Blankenship Field.
There's nothing like a walk champion. And you guys know there's nothing like those 72 steps. Yeah, there's nothing like the shit on a Friday night. And so all you kids on the hill, when you hear that train whistle, get to the steps and beat on those pads. And my brothers on the steps. I'm show them how we rock, baby. Let's get this money.
Football fans, welcome to the historic Blankenship Field at Johnson Armstrong Stadium. It's the home of the Wildcats. We'd like to welcome our guests from Science Hill High School, the home of the Hilltoppers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's play some football.
Quarterback to Blankenship Field, getting set for this football game. David Clary along with Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan. The fireworks going off the Blankenship Field, courtesy of the class of 1989. And we're about to have football for you. What a great display here at Blankenship Field.
Yeah, it's a little hard to hear, David. It's exciting times. You hear the applause behind, as I know. I think the boosters, the class of 1989, they've poured a lot into this season all year long, as they always do. But tonight they're adding a little bit more, as you're going to hear fireworks after touchdowns and obviously in the intro. So as Mike and I look on, David, it kind of looks like at the Super Bowl after the halftime show when they bring the cameras out, because there is a fog on the field right now. It's a pretty cool view from up here in the press box.
Yeah, most definitely, as it wafts across the field, moving towards Jackson Square. The Wildcats won the toss, elected to defer to the second half, so it'll be the Hilltoppers who will be receiving the opening kickoff. Incidentally, the guy doing the opening kickoff is Eli Pearson. If you didn't hear the news, Eli Pearson is a semifinalist for Mr. Football, kicker in the state of Tennessee. Congratulations to Eli Pearson.
Yeah, just, you know, one thing I learned about Mr. Football for kickers, David, talking to coach, special teams coach, and former Wildcat kicker himself, Mike Kelly, before the game, talking with him about the accolades for Eli. And he told me, unlike the other Mr. Football awards, where there's 3 finalists for each classification, in the state of Tennessee, there's 5 kickers throughout the entire state. Private school, public school, 1A through 6A, there's 5 kickers. So to me, it really says a lot about Eli and how good he is that he's amongst the 5 best in the entire state.
The smoke is still rising above Blankenship Field. Eli has the ball down on the tee, and we're about to get set here. Here's the kickoff of the ball game. It's high end over end kick. It's going to be fielded at the 1, to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the outside, and the Wildcats push him out of bounds finally at around the 30-yard line, 28 actually officially, and that is where Science Hill will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. Alex, do you have the starting lineups in front of you?
I do. At defensive line, at defensive tackle, nose tackle, Tim Walters. At defensive end, King Sandoval and Dominic Vasquez. At linebacker, Amani Bishop, JT Gormley, and Caden Stewart. At quarterback, Jarrell Jimerson and Zayden Williams. At the spur position, Wayne Gibson, Quavez Williams is the wasp, and Tyree Porter is the safety.
First down, 10 yards to go, opening play, and they hand the ball off to Anderson, Malik Anderson, a junior player, and he gets good yardage, a gain of 5 on first down. Underway in this playoff ball game here from Blankenship Field. The Hilltoppers wearing their gold kind of yellowish pants with white jerseys with burnt orange numerals. The Wildcats, as Alex mentioned earlier, in their all cardinal and gray. It'll be second down, 5 yards to go. For the Hilltoppers, they're going to hand it off again and trying to get outside. They've got a first down yardage. The Wildcats try to bring him down, and they have yet to do so. Now they finally do with Caden Stewart, but not before he gets up to the 46-yard line. Great run there by Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson's a good-looking back, and you know, they're kind of out there in those, it looks like USC, Southern California jerseys, really pretty jerseys. But Anderson, it's a good thing Caden was able to get to him. Caden Stewart, he's got one arm kind of wrapped up, so thankfully he was able to finish the tackle.
One thing that Coach Rain told me, that the Wildcats, to win this ball game, they're going to have to slow down the running game. They've got a quarterback, and I don't know if you heard him tell me in the pregame or on the show on Wednesday, Lane Clement, a senior player, is a transfer, a move-in from Wyoming. You don't hear that very often, but he is the quarterback. They gained 2 on that play. It's second down and 8. 10:35 to play. We're in the first quarter, just underway. First round playoff action from Blankenship Field. Clement from the shotgun, 2 receivers to his left. He's going to hand it off to number 8. This time, Big Tim drops him behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 43-yard line. That time the Wildcats got penetration, and Tim drops him to Blankenship Field.
And I was out on the field before the game, David, and Tim Walters, he's always one of the first one out there. He had a full sweat going almost 2 hours before this game. He was ready to go, fired up, and he shows you why right there.
They spot him officially at the 46, 3rd down and 11, and Clement's going to pass. He has time to throw. He's going to go deep, and pass is incomplete. I think the receiver fell down. The head coach of the Science Hill Hilltoppers thought there might have been some pass interference there. It was just high, and I think he lost his footing, and the Hilltoppers will send in Knox Arrington to punt the ball away, and Jarrell Jimerson will drop back for the Wildcats. It'll be 4th down and 11 yards to go.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Science Hill. I think, I mean, it was incidental, but there was definitely kind of a trip that looked like it occurred. However, I do think that even if it didn't occur, I think that ball was going to be thrown too far, so perhaps that's what the officials saw as well, as Jimerson stands back with his heels at his 12-yard line.
As I mentioned, Knox Arrington to punt for the Hilltoppers, standing back at the 35. Pressure, lots of pressure. They've had a couple kicks blocked this year. Ball's going to be bounding and go inside the 5 and roll dead all the way at the 3-yard line. So great punt there for Knox Arrington. The Wildcats will have their backs to Jackson Square.
Yeah, just a really good job by the punter there. You know, that ball landed just inside the 20, so Jarrell didn't really have much room to go, so he lets it hit. But unfortunately for Oak Ridge, how that ball came off his foot, it was front spinning, so when it hit, it just continued to roll, and there's really nothing Jarrell could do once he let it hit. So unfortunately, that ball ran down, and actually they're going to call it just inside the 2-yard line. So Blaine Stanbury in this offense, David, they've got their work cut out for them.
We'll let you run down the starters after this opening play. Stansbury does come to the line. Adam Washington will be a receiver split to his right. Wayne Gibson is the lone running back. Everybody stacked on the line of scrimmage, and they're going to hand it off, and there's some running room. About a couple yards as Wayne moves the ball up to around the 5-yard line. The Wildcats don't have a whole lot of running room there, so good solid gain on 1st down. It'll be for the Wildcats. Let's see, 2nd down and 7 yards to go.
Blaine Stansbury's the quarterback. Wayne Gibson, as you mentioned him a moment ago, he will be the running back. Malik Howard's the tight end. We'll get the lineman after this next play.
9:09 to play in the first quarter, just underway. Stansbury brings him up. It'll be 2nd down, actually a long 6 to go. And here's Blaine running the ball for a 1st down across the 10-yard line, or close to the 1st down marker. Blaine just carried around the left side and picks up good yardage, and it's a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge 1st down.
Yeah, he followed that left tackle and left guard. Left tackle is Jared Bafford. Left guard, Elijah Young. Center is Caden Chipman. The right guard, Torrey Holt. The right tackle, Nate Stevens. The receivers will be Jarrell Jimerson and Adam Washington. And then Zayden Williams has been getting some minutes. He gets the start, but Will Presley is dressed out. We'll have to see if he gets in tonight.
1st down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the Wildcat 13-yard line. They're moving with their backs to Jackson Square. Quick pass out of the backfield is caught. Moving the ball across the 15 up to the 20-yard line. Then a flag goes down on the play. I saw one Wildcat out there, Malik Howard and Zayden Williams. Let's see if it's going to be a block in the back or a hold. Wildcats obviously have had their problems with some holding. We'll check this call.
Yeah, I don't really have a clue. Unfortunately, I was going to say it came in so late that I was hoping maybe it could be a face mask, but they are going to call a holding on Oak Ridge, so it would have had to have been one of those couple of receivers that were out trying to block for Jarrell. The good news is it's a spot foul, so it's a 10-yard penalty, but it's not going to be 1st and 20. It will only be 1st and 15 because of how far Jarrell was able to get downfield before it happened.
We appreciate our sponsors who paid the TSSAA rights fee tonight. Jan Marie West, Kevin Faust, Josh Stansbury, and Susan Steck. It is 1st down, 14 yards to go. The ball's resting at the Wildcat 9-yard line. We're just underway. Stansbury is going to hand it off to Wayne. Wayne moves the ball across the 10 up to the 15-yard line. Got some yardage back. It'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it about 7 yards to go for a 1st down. Beautiful night in Oak Ridge. The Science Hill Hilltoppers on this rare Thursday night playoff ball game because of the forecast for tomorrow. They moved it from Science Hill. It was a slow to arrive crowd, but they have arrived along with their band. 3 receivers split to the right. 2nd down, 7 yards to go. The senior quarterback, Blaine Stansbury, in the shotgun. Wildcats 3 receivers to the right, a lone running back, Wayne Gibson. It's going to be Blaine to throw it across the way. Pass is incomplete. Kind of led Jarrell Jimerson just a bit, and it's going to be 3rd down and long facing the Wildcats.
Yeah, first down run sets you up in a position where you can kind of do either one. You could run or pass there on 2nd and 7. They elected to go for the throw there, and I saw what Blaine was doing. He had a man coming across in Jimerson, but he had to try to squeeze that in there. It was just a little bit too hot to handle, a little bit high, and it brings up 3rd and 7.
The Wildcats will go with an empty backfield here. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Scoreless ball game. 4-man front for the Hilltoppers. Blaine has time, goes down the way. Malik Howard with a great catch and a first down across the 35-yard line. He had to go up high to get it. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
Just a really tough play, and it started up front. They only brought 4, but the Wildcats offensive line combined, those 5 up front really did a nice job giving Blaine just enough time to throw, and then Blaine delivers a strike, and it's a really tough catch by Malik because he has to go up, and as he's jumping up, he knows that the defender's closing in. That safety is going to pop him when he lands, but he kind of tucked, guarded the ball, and was able to come down there with the ball. Just a great play to move the sticks.
Zayton Williams split out to the right side of the Wildcats once again with a slot man to the right, single man to the left. Blaine is going to hand it to Wayne. Wayne moves across the 40-yard line and is tackled at the 41. The Wildcat offensive line, which kind of struggled a bit, and I think if you ask them, they'll tell you that on last Thursday, getting a good push and a nice gain on first down, gain of a modest 3, 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, and Oak Ridge hasn't been able to pop any of these runs really for more than 4 or 5 yards, but every run really has gone for positive yardage. So that line has clearly got the message, and they've improved from last week. I know Maryville's a tough opponent, but I expect, like you said, kind of a rebound for this group.
2nd and 7, Blaine gets the high snap, and he moves the ball forward. It's going to be another 3rd and long situation as he gets the ball up to the 43-yard line. It'll be 3rd down, almost 5 yards to go for a first down. 6:09 to play, first quarter action here. We have no score from Blankenship Field.
And I almost wonder if that last play, Dave, was meant to be a quarterback keeper, or if it was supposed to be maybe a read option of some sort, because Wayne, the running back, took off straight like he was going to block, but he really didn't fake it. And when the snap, which appeared to be a little bit high, got back to Blaine, he kind of looked around for a second like there was some confusion. But either way, Blaine got what he could, got some positive yards, and it brings up a 3rd and 5. I'd watch for Malik Howard right here.
Ball at the 43-yard line. Blaine going to go across the way. Pass is caught, and you're exactly right. For a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down, it's Malik Howard across the midfield stripe. 1st and 10 Wildcats at the Hilltopper 47-yard line. Nice throw again. The Wildcats want to go a little quick. The Wildcats lead this all-time series. 13 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie. And I'll talk about that tie here in a bit. Here come the Wildcats to the line. Stanbury's converted on a couple of 3rd down conversions. He has the ball in Topper territory at the 47-yard line. 5:19 to play in the first quarter. Blaine, another screen pass, this time towards the Oak Ridge sideline. It's complete, moving the ball, and then a big hit right at the 45-yard line, gain of about a yard, maybe 2.
And they don't get much on that play, but here's what's so tough to defend if you're an opponent against Coach Rang's offense is earlier we saw Jarrell on the penalty where he gained about 5 or 6, 7 yards on the little bubble screen. Well, on that big 3rd down conversion a moment ago, Malik got it after he faked like he was going to block for that bubble screen to Jarrell, and then he released, and the defenders had gone past him to go after Jarrell. He catches it. That time they go right back to it. The defenders are confused. They don't know whether they should rush upfield to get towards Jarrell or if they've got to guard the receivers.
Here's Wayne Gibson moving the ball again. It's going to be another 3rd down conversion upcoming for the Wildcats. They move the ball to the 43-yard line. Wayne moving towards the Oak Ridge sideline. It'll be 3rd down and 5 yards to go once again.
And I don't know that we would have expected to be saying this in the playoffs at the beginning of the year, but right here, if you're Oak Ridge, or you're the defense rather, you got to watch out. They're 5 wide, no running backs, but Blaine Stansbury's legs are an option right here.
Blaine brings him up. It's about a 5-yard for a first down. Wildcats down to 3:57, a very fast-moving first quarter here in this first-round playoff game. Blaine looking over the sideline, got to the play finally. Play clock is down to 6, down to 5. Blaine's going to throw again. Pass is going to be caught for another 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down, this time at the 35-yard line, this time caught by Jarrell Jimerson. So when the Wildcats need a 3rd down conversion, Blaine Stansbury uses his arm. It's 1st and 10 Wildcats.
Yeah, and okay, good. This is going to stand. There is a flag I saw. I was worried about it, but it was dropped on the sideline. It's going to be a sideline warning against Science Hill. That will be their first. But like you said, just a quick throw and catch right there, a nice reel in or haul in by Jarrell. And, boy, he has come to play today. The Wildcats, unsurprisingly, Dave, they're going to have to rely on their seniors at playoff time, and so far they're showing up.
Wildcats first down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 35-yard line. On the stream, we'll get the audio fixed when we can. Wildcats, Wayne Gibson moves the ball 30, moves the ball forward to the 25-yard line, and that is close to it. Another Oak Ridge, 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down. Let's see, they're going to spot him about a yard short. We have no score here in the first quarter. The Wildcats, second down and a yard to go.
This is the 14th play of this drive, Dave. They've done a really good job of ball control, moving the ball methodically down the field, driving it into the Johnson City territory.
Second down and a yard to go. The Wildcats, Blaine Stanbury to Wayne Gibson. Wayne has another 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down. Just methodically, as Mike said, driving the ball down the field, another 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down. The Wildcats started this drive all the way back at their 2 or 3 yard line, and they have marched inside the 20, where it's now first down and 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 17-yard line. Adam Washington is a receiver, split to the right. Oak Ridge also has Zayden Williams and Jarrell Jemerson in that direction. The Wildcats have one man to the left. That is the tight end. That is Malik Howard. Wayne Gibson, the lone running back, first and 10 from the 17-yard line. Jarrell comes in motion once again. Blaine's going to run the ball. 15, 10, moves the ball to right at the 10-yard line. Gain of about 7 on the play. It'll be second down and 3 yards to go for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Blaine did a really good job that time of realizing he faked a handoff to Wayne and took off around left end and almost got to first down.
And on that play, though, a loss of yardage as the Wildcats got sacked in the backfield, and Wayne Gibson was the man, and he has dropped all the way back to the 15-yard line where it is now, third down and about 7 yards to go. So the Wildcats once again need to try to convert on a third down conversion, and Blaine's been able to do it throughout the course of the game. And once again, it'll be Adam Washington split to the right. The play coming in from the sideline, signaled in by Coach Pace and Coach Branson. The Wildcats coached by Derek Ring in his third year as the head coach. The play clock is down to 10, 9, 8, 7. Wildcats are going to have to call a timeout because they haven't got the play in. They're down to 3 seconds and indeed timeout. We'll take it ourselves. Oak Ridge and Science Hill scoreless. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 60 seconds.
Wildcat fans, we want to recognize Laura Lynn Green State Farm as one of our 2025 scoreboard sponsors. At Laura Lynn Green State Farm Agency, they prioritize the protection of your assets. They go above and beyond to ensure that you are supported during life's challenges, be it a fender bender, a burst pipe, a house fire, or severe weather. Their commitment to exceptional customer service means they are always there when you need them, and they strive to keep their promises. They invite you to visit their office, give them a call, or explore their services online to start creating your personalized insurance plan. Don't forget to ask about their monthly earnings. Their team is here to help you maximize discounts and ensure you are safeguarded in every way possible. Together, they can provide the assurance and confidence you need for the future. Laura Lynn Green, State Farm.
Welcome back once again to Blankenship Field. We appreciate Jan Marie West, Kevin Faust, Josh Stansbury, and Susan Steck for paying our rights fee. Wildcats have it third down, 7 yards to go. The ball is at the 14-yard line. The Wildcats had to use one of their timeouts. Let's see what Blaine Stansbury can do. He's converted several thirds. That's a low snap. Blaine rolls to his right, looks to the end zone, fires it there. Pass is going to be intercepted, I believe. Yes, it is. Picked off by number 1 for them, and they'll take over. First down, 10 yards to go. A great drive, ends in nothing.
Number 7,
Yeah, and I don't know how many plays it was. Mike will have that in a moment. It's probably 17 or 18 plays, and it's killer that you come away without even a field goal on that one. Something wasn't right from the beginning. Jarrell went in motion, and it looked like the snap was kind of, the timing was right. Nobody on the field moved quite frankly initially, and Blaine didn't look like he was ready for it. So instead, he just kind of tries to scramble and make a play happen, and it really wasn't there. But something looked off from the get-go on that one.
Quarterback hands it off to the running back, and he tries to get wide, and he's going to go down at around the 17-yard line. It was an impressive drive. The Wildcats on the second down play had that huge loss, which kind of put them behind the 8 ball. And then, as you said, the snap wasn't perfect, and then Wildcats turned the ball over. We're going to go through the first quarter, dominating the time of possession, but there will probably be no score unless the Hilltoppers can score in the next 30 seconds. We have a scoreless game. Quarterback is Clement. He throws a pass out, a screen pass. The Wildcats trying to make a stop, and he goes to the sideline and is pushed out of bounds, or goes close to out of bounds around the 21, and that'll be short of a first down, I believe. It'll be with 17 seconds to play. Third down and about a yard to go. Let's see if they get a playoff. Play clock is down to 30. The game clock is down to 6. They're not going to attempt to play. We'll send it back to the engineer at the station, Brian Bennett. Scoreless game from Blankenship Field. We'll be back with the second quarter in 60 seconds. Welcome back once again to Blankenship Field. Third down and a yard to go. Opening play of the second quarter. Quarterback Clement's going to hand it off to the back, and he slithers forward. I think he's got enough yardage for the first down. He didn't get a great spot there, and we'll just have to see just how close it is. He didn't get a great push. He actually is going to be short. It is fourth and a yard to go, and looks like, I guess they're going to bring the punter in. He got a good one off last time. It's dangerous to go for it on this play, and they are not going to gamble, it would appear, but I would watch for a fake because they split out two receivers, split to the right. Arrington is the punter. Fourth down and a yard to go. The Wildcats have got to be aware of a fake right here. Good snap. Punt is up. It's blocked. The Wildcats block it, pick it up, and score a touchdown. The Wildcats score. They punt. We score. The Wildcats take the lead 6-0 with 11 minutes and 13 seconds to play in the first quarter in a block punt.
Wayne Gibson came around and almost caught the ball off of the punter's foot. He was there so quickly. It rolled, bounced once or twice, and then who was there? Dylan Woody. He trots into the end zone for his first touchdown as a Wildcat. What a turn of events. The Wildcats take the lead.
22 yards.
And the Wildcats will send Eli Pearson into the game. 6-0 Wildcats, 11-13 to play in the first quarter. Here's the hold, the snap, the kick by Eli is up, and it is good. 7-0 Oak Ridge, first round of the playoffs against the toppers of Johnson City Science Hill, and we'll be back to Blankenship Field in 60 seconds.
Who blocked that, do you know?
Wayne Gibson.
Thank you.
Number 4, Wade Gibson, blocking punt.
That was beautiful, man. That was beautiful.
Look at this picture I got.
God, that's really good. I wish I'd thought of that. Well, they're going to do it after the game. They're going to have big fireworks. I'll have another opportunity.
The Bearcats will be competing tomorrow at the Knoxville Convention Center for the 2025 PWSAA Bears State Championship.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Let's go back to the third down stop by the Wildcats, which forced them to punt from deep in their own territory. Coach Rang told me they had had a couple punts blocked this year, and sure enough, that's what happened. And Dylan Woody with the score. Big third down stop, though, created the whole thing for the Wildcats.
It really did, and coincidentally enough, guess who was one of the guys in there on that third down stop? The line got penetration, and it was Wayne Gibson coming down from the safety spot to help make that tackle.
Eli Pearson's kick goes into the end zone, and the Wildcats, after what a strange turn of events, Alex Myers and Mike Sheehan, the Wildcats start a drive previous at the 2 or 3 yard line, drive all the way inside the 15-yard line, turn the ball over, and then it's the defense which creates the offense, and the Wildcats have the lead 7-0.
Yeah, that was really exciting. I tell you what, Dylan Wooden right there on the spot after Wayne Gibson blocked it. A 22-yard touchdown for the Wildcats.
Clement's going to throw a double pass up for grabs. He's wide open. He's got it. Touchdown. Wildcats got burned on the double pass. That's happened to him before, and just like that, we've got fireworks on the Topper side as they score with 11:01 to play on the double pass, and it's 7-6.
Yeah, Clement just throws a beautiful deep ball. It was a little double pass. A lot of folks would know it as a flea flicker. They handed the ball off to the running back, got Oak Ridge's defenders to bite up a little bit towards the line of scrimmage, and just as they did that, the running back flips it back, and he just throws to a streaking wide receiver down the Science Hill sideline. Really beautiful play call, and what timing for that play call, because now they're right back in it.
And they hit the extra point. 7-7 our score. 11:01 to play in the first half. Take another break. We'll be back with a Topper kickoff in 60 seconds.
Took them 12 seconds.
Number 37, Carter Lockman to kick off. Deep for the Wildcats, number 6, Tyree.
Welcome back once again to Blankenship Field, where we've got a tie ball game, 7-7 the score. Coach Rang told me that a couple times they were going to go deep with a long pass such as that. The Wildcats practiced that during the week, but you know, it's very easy to get fooled. You're not used to seeing that, but the double pass, a thing of beauty for the Hilltoppers.
Well, it's one thing to run it, but it's another thing to run it when you have a running game that you have to respect. In Science Hill, we talked about it in the opening drive, and we saw it some early on, is they've got a running back that can do a lot of damage. So it's so tempting to creep up there as the kickoff goes through the end zone. It's so tempting to creep up, but you've got to keep your discipline. And, you know, I'd expect a couple of those guys in that safety to come up and try to make a big play, kind of make up for that. One of those guys in the safety, Jarrell Jimerson, he's had a great game so far. We'll see if he can kind of make a play on this drive and kind of help his brothers out there back in the safety.
The Wildcats and Hilltoppers tied at 7. As we mentioned, we have to pay our TSSAA rights fee, and we'd like to thank Jan Marie West, Kevin Faust, Josh Stansberry, and Susan Steck for paying our rights fee this week. It was $400. If the Wildcats win this ball game next week, it'll be $500, and we hope to stream that ball game as well. Wildcat offense back out on the field. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 20-yard line. Wildcats have three receivers to the right. The Wildcats are going to go to Will Presley. Nope. They're going to work the ball across the way to a wide open man who does make the catch at the 30, a Tim Bank of Oak Ridge, and then he got blasted out of bounds. It is right at the 30-yard line. That should be a first down for the Wildcats. Jarrell Jimerson on the reception.
Yeah, he was on the reception. A nice job by Blaine finding him. His first route was to look to his left. Why? Because Will Presley was in there, and he was streaking down the sideline. But it was pretty good coverage. He didn't really have him open. So Blaine kind of used his eyes, moved in the pocket, and found Jarrell. Nice play.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball officially at the 32-yard line. The Wildcats with their backs towards the old practice field where the fireworks have been going off tonight. 10:53 to play first half and a 7-7 ball game. The Hilltopper band playing across the way. Two receivers to the right. Wildcats running the ball with Wayne Gibson. He finds a crease and cuts to the outside, moves the ball for a gain of about 8, maybe 9 yards. It'll be for the Hilltoppers making the stop, look like number 6, but it'll be a gain on the play up to the 40-yard line. The spots have been a little short on these officials. Done a good job so far, but they've spotted us a little short sometimes. It's a gain of 8 on the play. Second down, 2 yards to go. The ball right at the 40-yard line. The Wildcats heading towards Jackson Square. Wildcats tied 7-7. Blaine Stanbury tries to get them to jump off sides with the hard count. The Wildcats have two receivers to the right. That's Zayden Williams, Jarrell Jimerson. Adam Washington's to the left. He's got single coverage on him. Wayne's in the backfield. Wayne's running. Wayne's not running far, though. He's blasted and dropped in the backfield. It'll be third down facing the Wildcats. Oak Ridge has converted several third down plays, but that time no place to go for Wayne Gibson.
Yeah, there's a DeLorean Daniel is the name of the defensive lineman that time, it looked like, who got in on the play and brought him in the backfield. That's kind of the first time all game we've seen them stop the run, but usually Oak Ridge has been able to get 2 or 3 yards of positive action. That time was really the first time all night that they've gotten into the backfield and stopped our running game before it's ever got started.
Loss of a yard on the play. Third down, a yard to go. The ball now at the 39-yard line of the Wildcats. Three receivers to the right, two to the left. Blaine Stansbury all alone in the backfield. He's going to pass. Goes across the way. Passes too high and almost intercepted again. Kind of got some jumpy feet, did Blaine, and the Wildcats are going to send the punt unit into the ball game. So another second down play, which resulted in lost yardage, forces the Wildcats to punt, and into the game will come Eli Pearson.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but hey, we talked about him. He's up for Mr. Football for a reason. Now is a game like this, a time like this is where you can rely on this guy, Eli Pearson, to flip the field.
He gets a high, wobbly kick. It's going to take a good Oak Ridge bounce. It's going to go rolling dead. They're going to say it actually popped out of bounds at around the 22-yard line, and that is where the Hilltoppers will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. We've got a 7-7 ball game, 9:04 to play in the first half. The Wild Band will play at halftime. The Wildcats and Hilltoppers. The first game was played between the two schools back in 1957, and Emory Hale played in that game, the former head coach of the Wildcats. Here come the Hilltoppers to the line. Lane Clement, the quarterback. He's got two receivers to the left. The Wildcats watching them drop back to pass, and out of the backfield, pass is incomplete. Wildcats a little soft on the coverage there, and luckily the pass was low in the dirt, and Quavez Williams defending. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and I think Quavez is almost wishing that receiver would have caught that, because he kind of was shaking his head like, oh, I almost just had a real big hit on this receiver who was concentrated on the ball and didn't see Quavez coming. The receiver might be thankful he dropped that one.
8:58 to play in the first half, 7-7 the score. Once again, Clement's going to hand it off to the back, and then he's going to be met at the middle part of the line. It's going to be third down and long facing the Hilltoppers. Aiden Perry, senior running back, dropped by J.T. Gormley. Gain of a yard, third down, 9 yards to go. The Wildcats need to stop right here.
Yeah, they do. It's a big play. They're going to come up with that up-tempo again, and we'll see. Oak Ridge just has to be disciplined right here.
Third down, 9 yards to go. He's going to drop back to pass. Goes across the way. Pass almost intercepted by 2 Wildcats. The second one was Jarrell Jemerson. The ball might have been deflected at the line, but 2 Wildcats were close to it. It's 4th down around the same area of the field that the Wildcats blocked a punt a moment ago, and they're in punt formation.
They are. I think it was actually Quavez Williams, because I thought for a second that he was going to, if you heard me kind of grunt, I thought he was going to be able to get his hands on that. He did get his hands on it, but unfortunately didn't come up with a pick, but he almost gave his teammate an opportunity as well. David, looks like Oak Ridge is going to take a timeout.
And we are waiting for the official signal. The Wildcats are walking out on the field. Let's take it with them. 7-7 our score. 8 minutes, 27 seconds to play in the first half. Playoff round action here from Blankenship Field. The Laurel N. Green halftime show coming up with Mark and Shauna Stace. But right now we'll take a break. We'll be back for the punt in 30 seconds.
Oak Ridge High School would like to thank the 2025 season ticket sponsor, Oak Ridge Vision Center. The Vision Center is located at 1143 Oak Ridge Turnpike. Oak Ridge Vision Center was founded on the simple premise that if you provide good quality products surrounded by sincere and knowledgeable service, people will feel good about the work you have done. They welcome new patients and invite you to call them for an appointment. We're confident that you'll be glad you did. Oak Ridge Vision Center is a proud...
It'll be 4th down, 9 yards to go. The ball is resting at the Hilltopper 23-yard line. Jarrell standing on the other side of the 50-yard line. Once again, they'll be punting. We've had 1 punt blocked. Knox Arrington is the punter. Here's the snap, and before that, there might have been some movement on the line. We'll check what the officials say. I was going to talk about this. The very last time Oak Ridge was involved in a tie ball game, it was against the Hilltoppers. It's going to be a 5-yard step off against the Wildcats. I guess some encroachment, and that makes it a little easier for them. 4th down and about 4. 1969 actually was the last time the Wildcats had a tie, and that was against Science Hill. There's movement again. And if it's against Oak Ridge, that's going to give them a 1st down. I haven't seen a signal. It is going to be dead ball foul, illegal procedure, and we go back another 5 yards. Alex Myers.
Hilltoppers penalized 5 yards, dead ball foul, false start.
They'll be punting once again. It's 4th down and 9 once again. 8:25 to play. Wildcats once again with everyone on the line. Not a great snap. Pressure again. Is blocked again. Second block. And it's going to be bounding around. It's going to be picked up. And the Wildcats are going to get it at the 19-yard line. 2 blocks in the first half. And I mentioned that Coach Rang said they've had a few blocked, and the Wildcats do it again. Great field position for the Wildcats.
I think it might have been Caden Stewart, but you mentioned it. What I was trying to say, I'd muted my mic, but that 5-yard penalty against Oak Ridge negated their ability to be real aggressive because you don't want to give up the 1st down. But when Science Hill false started, it allowed Oak Ridge to open up the floodgates for them to go, hey, we can be aggressive because if we jump the snap a little bit, we're still not giving up a 1st down. So Oak Ridge does that. They actually bring in one of their up men or guys that's guarding the up men on the side, almost like a corner blitz. They bring him in from the side, and the whole thing just collapsed right in front of the punter.
Blaine rolls to his right, 1st and 10. Pass is a little low, right around the 15-yard line, and pass was a little bit in the turf there. It'll be incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, just a good diving attempt that time by Zayden Williams. The ball was thrown a little short, and he was trying to kind of lead Zayden back into that throw, and Zayden just couldn't quite get there.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Once again, the Wildcats with good field position right at the 20-yard line. A couple of blocked punts. One resulted in a touchdown. 8:11 to play. We're in the second quarter. Stanbury with a lone running back, and he's running it. That's Wayne Gibson. Wayne breaks 1 tackle, moves the ball inside the 15, and is tackled right across the 15 officially. Well, they're going to give him right at the 15, so it's going to be 3rd down and long facing the Wildcats. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. The Wildcats, the first 3 ball games that Wayne took over for DeMillion, he had over 100 yards rushing in each of the 3 ball games. A little slower going the last 2 weeks, but he's just steadily getting some good yardage there, and the Wildcats faced with 3rd and 5 here once again.
Yeah, really great individual effort by Blaine that time. He should have been stopped about a yard past the line of scrimmage. He should have been stopped about 3 yards past that. He kept churning his legs.
Blaine's going to roll to his right. Looks, might run it. He does. 10. Blaine Stansbury down to the 6-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal, Oak Ridge. A 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down. He looked and he saw a man in the flat, decided not to throw it, and ran the ball 1st and goal, Wildcats.
Yeah, but it was still beneficial to have Zayden Williams out there because the linebacker who was chasing him down, it gave Blaine a target to pump fake to. He pump faked, got the linebacker kind of on his heels a little bit, which allowed Blaine to make that cut and get the 1st down yardage.
1st down, goal to go in a 7-7 ball game. Clock moving, 6:53 to play. We're in the 2nd quarter, very fast-moving game. Stansbury at the Hilltopper 6-yard line. Blaine's going to run it, cut inside 3, 2. Down he goes at that point, a little shy of the 2, maybe around the 3. It'll be 2nd down, goal to go for the Wildcats. Clock moving, 6:35 and counting. We appreciate once again Jan Marie West, Kevin Faust, Josh Stansbury, Susan Steck for paying our rights fee. Hopefully Blaine Stansbury's going to put it in the end zone right here. The Wildcats in a tight one.
I think somebody's going to do it with their legs, whether it's Stansbury or Gibson, because they brought that power package in with Tim Walters and Liam Gerber.
2nd down, goal to go at the 2. It's Wayne Gibson. He's dropped in the backfield. Just never got outside, so now it's going to be 3rd down, goal to go at the 2. Just didn't really get going. He got popped for a loss in the backfield.
Yeah, he didn't really have a chance. Darren Hill just shot out of there like he was coming out of a cannon. Somehow from that middle linebacker position, as many guys up front as Oak Ridge had on the line of scrimmage, somehow he's kind of skated through the gap there and got Wayne down before he even hardly had the ball. And Oak Ridge is going to get that power package out. They're going to spread things out here, but still 3rd and goal from the 4, the run or the pass is in play. I think Oak Ridge is probably in 4-down territory. They're going to call a timeout to think about it, though, Dave.
It'll be their 3rd and final timeout of the first half. We'll take it with them. We'll be back to Blankenship Field. 7-7 our score. First round playoff action back in 30 seconds. Remember, the Laura Lynn Green State Farm Insurance halftime show is going to take place here in about 5.5 minutes. We'll have the scoring summary. Mark and Shauna Hayes are doing the stats, and we'll give away the Fats Barbecue. We're using our trivia question as the Wildcats come up 3rd down, goal to go at the 4-yard line. 5:31 to play, first half. 7-7 the score. Blaine Stansbury. Once again, we'll split out Malik Howard to the right. The Wildcats 3 receivers to the left. Blaine's going to throw it quickly. Up for grabs in the end zone. What's the call? That's touchdown, Oak Ridge. All he did was throw it up, and Malik Howard brings it down. Touchdown, Wildcats, as the fireworks go off here at Blankenship Field. It's 13-7 Oak Ridge.
Candy from a baby. It doesn't matter who you put up against Malik Howard. He's simply bigger, stronger, and he's going to out-jump you. I feel sorry for DBs who have to try to play against this guy. They had one-on-one coverage on the corner on the short side of the field. You could see it from the snap. That's the first and only place Blaine looked, and that's all he needed to look at. It was an easy touchdown.
And the extra point by Eli Pearson is up, and it's good. Oak Ridge takes the lead once again. 14-7 our score. 5:25 to play in the first quarter. We'll be back to Blankenship Field with the Oak Ridge kickoff in 60 seconds.
Hilltoppers Wildcats boosters would like to say thank you to Honey Baked Ham,
for feeding our Wildcats support tonight.
Call that bad boy.
Thank you,
Well,
Johnny Baker, for your continued support.
I'm not
of Oak Ridge
Einstein.
football.
Yeah, there's just not anybody can keep up with him when he do that. If Lane throws it right, which he did, it doesn't get any better. Unbelievable. Love that.
Here's the kickoff. Deep for the Hilltoppers, number 2, Brayton Austin, and number 17, Marcus Jones.
That's a 14-0 lead over Johnson City Science Hill. Here's Eli Pearson's kick into the end zone, and that will be another touchback. I said this earlier, and for those of you who didn't hear it, Eli Pearson actually has been named a finalist for the Mr. Football Kicker in the state of Tennessee. Congratulations to him. The Wildcats, we saw this happen in the first quarter when the Wildcats scored their first touch. They can't give up a score here now that they've got the lead.
No, and you know, that's the thing about it. Science Hill hasn't really been able to move the ball. They've only scored on that one play. It took 12 seconds. It was a deep shot. Oak Ridge got to watch out for one here.
Here's a pass and a nice defensive play by the Wildcats. He rolled out to his right. Jarrell Jemerson and Quavez Williams make the stop, but not before Johnson City picks up a first down.
Yeah, just a rollout. It looked like, Dave, they wanted to take a deep shot again. They had one man going deep, but Oak Ridge had it covered, forcing the quarterback to go underneath. But unfortunately for Oak Ridge, he was open too.
Hilltoppers first down, 10 yards to go. They're going to pass again. Little short pass. Wildcats have some red shirts out there. The Wildcats do make the stop, but it's another big gain, 9 yards on the pass play. The Wildcats soft on coverage. It'll be second down, then a yard to go.
Yeah, you nailed it. Just a little soft on that coverage on first down. You got to be a little more aggressive than that, especially on a team that's done a bunch of running, done a bunch of the short stuff. Here's second and short.
Second down, then a yard to go. 4.5 minutes to play first half. 14-7 Oak Ridge. They're going to run for the first down and get it and more across the 45 up to the 46-yard line where it'll be first and 10. Hilltoppers, 4:24 to play. First half, 14-7. The Wildcats in the lead.
And
here they come to the line once again quickly, officially the 46-yard line.
Very good at
Elijah
forcing these
Young
guys into
was
third
there
and
on
medium,
the stop.
third and
2
long.
receivers to
Right
the
now,
right. The
they're getting
Wildcats
chunk plays
need
on
to get a
first
little
and second.
pressure
They gotta
in
get a
on
stop here.
Clement. He's going to hand it off to the back, and he is in the secondary, and perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle. All of a sudden, their line is getting a major push. It looks like we might have a hold, though, or some kind of procedural penalty against the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, it is going to be a hold, and it's going to be up near the line of scrimmage. So unlike the one against Oak Ridge earlier, this is really going to hurt them because it's instead of a second and about 1, this is going to back them all the way up to about first and 19.
So they'll put it down at the 36-yard line, 4 minutes and counting. Actually, the clock stopped the clock now. Now it's moving. It'll be first down, 20 yards to go. First round playoff game, do or die. The winner plays the winner of Green Hill and Smyrna. Here's the pitch to the running back, and he tries to get wide, and he moves the ball and gains about 9 on the play. The Wildcats make the stop. I think Caden Stewart there on the stop, and not before he picks up good yardage, though it'll be second down and about 12.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He picked up for some pretty good yardage there on first down. Oak Ridge defended it well initially, but then he just kind of beat the backer to the edge there. Thankfully, a couple guys wrapped him up before he got too far.
Second down, 12. The Wildcats showing blitz. Here comes the screen pass. The Wildcats going to have to make a stop. Oh, he just hurdles over the top of the Wildcat defender. Wildcats came in. Really nice play by Science Hill. Wildcats came in strong, and he just dumped it over the top. It's going to be third down and about 7.
Oak Ridge dialed up the pressure. They brought some guys from the outside, and that's exactly where that veteran quarterback went to. That's what you're taught. You throw to where the direction of the pressure's coming, because that means those guys in that area have vacated the space, and he just the perfect play for that blitz that Oak Ridge had on.
3rd down 6, 2:44 to play. Wildcats bringing pressure again. Quarterback's in trouble across the way, almost intercepted. Could have very easily been offensive pass interference there. It'll be 4th down facing the Hilltoppers, and this has been an adventure for Science Hill when they've punted. They're kind of in no man's land at the 50-yard line. 2:37 to play. The smart thing to do would be to punt it, but having punted twice and having them been blocked twice, I think he's going to have to go for it. It's 4th down and 6. 2:37 to play. Wildcats can't jump. They stacked the line of scrimmage. Got to be careful. Let's see if Johnson City will call a timeout. He's watching the clock, head coach, and he does call a timeout. 14-7 our score. We'll take a quick one. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
We want to win the 2025 cross-country team. That's the best of fun in Germantown. They are competing for the state championship title.
And we appreciate all of our sponsors who've been with us all season long. Fox Insurance Group, OBGYN Associates of Oak Ridge, East Tennessee Spine and Sport, the Oak Ridge Utility District, Betsy Coleman Realty, the Jackson Square Barbershop, Nathan Miser with Shelter Insurance, the Knoxville Orthopedic Clinic of Oak Ridge, and Dr. Bill Linehan. It is 4th down and 6 yards to go, 2:37 to play. In the first half, they have the ball directly at the 50-yard line. Science Hill with their backs to Jackson Square. Quarterback's going to throw it, fires a pass, and he can't make the play, and that's going to give Oak Ridge the ball at the 50-yard line. And the Oak Ridge Wildcats, with no timeouts, have 2:33 to get some more points on the board.
Yeah, the quarterback just kind of led his receiver too far. Even if he makes that diving attempt, maybe if he makes the catch, he's still going to be about a yard short. They ran that route and threw that route about a yard too shorter than it needed to be. And now here's why I would have punted. I understand why they didn't, because there's no promise that it doesn't get blocked. But now you've got Oak Ridge, who doesn't have a timeout left. If you force them to go 80, 90 yards, it's going to be hard for them to score with only 2.5 minutes left. Now they're 15, 20 yards away from Eli Pearson field goal range to make this a 2-possession game. Wildcats are in great position.
1st and 10 at the 50-yard line. Blaine Stansbury is still going to hand it off to Wayne Gibson, and he's not going to get anything. He's going to lose yardage. I don't understand the play call there, honestly. It's going to be 2nd down and 12 yards to go.
No, I don't get it necessarily, but I can kind of understand it from the standpoint of, you can assume you're going to get 2 or 3 yards right there, and if you do, you're in no huge rush. But unfortunately, you go backwards, and so now with Jared Baffert having to come out and a lineman having to substitute in for him, now you're kind of in some trouble.
2nd down, 11 yards to go. Adam Washington doesn't know what the play is. Wildcats don't have a timeout. Blaine's going to roll, going to go deep across the way. Pass is caught. Great throw right at the 40-yard line. He's at the marker. It's going to be a 10-back of Oak Ridge, 1st down. Nice throw to Zayden Williams. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
One thing that Oak Ridge has not been able to really kind of even flirt with this game has been the deep shot. It's not been there, but one of the reasons is because Science Hill's playing coverage over the top a little soft. Well, what that's allowing is Oak Ridge, these comeback routes, even the ones further downfield like that one to Zayden, they're open. They're playing soft coverage, and there's plenty of space for Blaine to fit those in.
Blaine's going to throw it. No, he's going to run it. 40, 35, runs out of bounds right at the 37-yard line. It's a gain of about 5 on the play. Stops the clock, and more importantly, 1:42 to play. It'll be a gain of 5. 2nd down and a long 4 to go for a 1st down. The Wildcats on top 14-7 as they play in the closing minutes of the 2nd quarter here at Blankenship Field.
A nice job by Gabe Arrington, the senior offensive lineman, coming in there for a couple of plays while Jared Baffert got some equipment fixed.
I got a chance to interview him on Wednesday on the show. That was yesterday's. Blaine, there's going to be some movement on the line. That's going to be a penalty, and that's going to stop the clock. Minute 40 to play. I think the Wildcats were moving, and that is going to be the case. Illegal procedure against the Wildcats. But got a chance to speak to Gabe on the show yesterday, and I enjoyed that immensely, and good for him. Senior getting in there. It's going to be a little longer now. Second down, 9 yards to go, a minute 40 to play. We're in the second quarter in a 14-7 ball game. The Wildcats will get Zayden Williams as a receiver along with Jarrell Jimerson to the left. Wildcats, lone running back. Slot man is the tight end. Wayne comes in motion. Blaine dropping back to pass, sets up the screen, pass caught. 35. Running the ball forward for a gain right back to where they were before the penalty is Malik Howard. It'll be third down and 5 yards to go. A minute 25 to play here in the second quarter. Wildcats lining it up quickly once again. They need about 4 for a first down. Blaine's going to drop back to pass. This time all day. Fires one complete at the 20-yard line. That's a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down with a minute 10 to play in the first half.
And not just a first down, what a smart play by the senior Adam Washington. He gets tackled about 2 yards from the boundary, but just kind of with an extra effort just lunges towards the out-of-bound marker. And because of that, the clock does not start until the snap. What a play.
First down, 10 yards to go at the 20-yard line of the Hilltoppers. The Wildcats need some points here. Johnson City very disciplined, won't jump on the hard count. Stanbury once again, receivers left and right. Wayne Gibson in the backfield. No timeouts for the Wildcats. A minute 10 to play in the first half in a 14-7 game. Blaine has all day, looks in the flats again, once again. Catch is made, and out of bounds he goes. Not a whole lot of yardage there, but the good news is only 6 seconds went off the clock. Adam Washington, his second consecutive catch. It's a gain on the play of 7, second and 3. The ball at the Hilltopper 13.
Again, in the playoffs, Oak Ridge leaning on those veterans. Science Hill on that play had 3 different guys in the area of Malik Howard. They know what's coming. Oak Ridge is still going to continue to try to look his way. We'll see if they can get a matchup they like.
Second down, 3 yards to go. The Wildcats will go to pass in the end zone. Touchdown all by himself in the end zone. Nobody picked him up. Malik Howard, and it's 20-7. Oak Ridge with 59 seconds to play here in the first half, and the fireworks go off here at Blankenship Field, and Oak Ridge will go for the extra point.
Well, last play they had 3 guys shading him. That time, Mike, he was so open, I think you or I could have made that catch.
I believe he could. He was wide open. And Blaine made a good, quick pass. I thought he was going to run for a minute. It drew the defenders toward him as the extra point by Eli Pearson is up and good.
Let's take a quick timeout. 21-7 Oak Ridge. 59 seconds to play first half. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back with an Oak Ridge kickoff in 60 seconds.
It will be on Friday, November 7th. Wildcats' exceptional performance recently earned 4 trophies at the Foothills Classic Band Competition in Seymour. The marching band was reserved grand champion among all 4A, 5A, and 6A schools. And first place band in the 5A category. Color guard and percussion both earned high marks for their first place finishes. This final stretch of marching band season coincides with the final days of the annual band fruit sale, which brings a special delivery of fresh fruit from Florida in time for the winter holiday. You can still order through November 11th online. Ordering is still allows fruit delivered directly to you by a band member. With no shipping charge, contact any band member directly for local ordering at your convenience. Here's in the kickoff.
Come on, get him now. Come on. Run, clock, run.
Eli Pearson's a line drive kick, which is returned out to the 39-yard line, closer to the 40. Good return with 47 seconds to play. Wildcats up 2 scores now, 21-7, guys. The Wildcats got to play defense for the next 47 seconds.
Yeah, and it's important to note that Science Hill still has 2 timeouts, so you don't want to be in too much of a preventative mode here, but you obviously can't get beat over the top.
Here's a high looping pass that's going to be caught. He runs out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. It's a gain of about 5. 43 seconds to play. It'll be second down, 5 yards to go. Newberry once again on the reception. He's a junior player for the Hilltoppers. They're moving left to right, wearing their gold pants with white and burnt orange. The Wildcats wearing their all Cardinal pants and Cardinal jerseys, white numerals. Wildcats stack the line. Clement back to pass. Another quick pass. Caught, and immediately the tackle is made right at the 50. That's enough for the Hilltoppers with 37 play. The Wildcats on top 21-7. The Laurel halftime show coming up in a moment. Here come the Hilltoppers quickly. The ball right at the 50-yard line. Clement with 29 seconds to play. They're going to run the ball this time, and he's going to get good yardage. Breaks in the secondary, and he's down. Missed tackling. Touchdown, Hilltoppers. Very, very smart play call. The Wildcats looking pass all the way. Just broke several tackles, and just like that, it's a 21-13 ball game.
Yeah, just really unfortunate. You're expecting the pass. They come back with that, and I think he made one guy miss and then just kind of off to the races. Just really unfortunate, because if you're Oak Ridge, you finally feel like you got a little breathing room, up 2 scores, and you're set to receive the kick to start the second half, so you're feeling really, really good and confident, and you're 18 seconds away from getting out of there, and unfortunately you let a score go.
Here's the extra point. It's up, and it is good. 21-14 our score. 18 seconds to play. We'll be back with a topper kickoff in 60 seconds.
Quarter one with the kickoff for the Hilltoppers. Deep for the Wildcats, number 6, Tyree Porter, and number 9, Jarrell Weber Jefferson.
Johnson City, Science Hill to kick off here. 18 seconds to play. We've had a lot of fireworks, both teams. Here's a little squib kick. It's going to be an onside kick, recovered by the Wildcats right at the 47-yard line with 17 seconds to go. And the Wildcats have great field position, no timeouts, only 17 seconds to go.
Yeah, that's not what Science Hill was trying to do. They were trying, you were right first, Dave, they were trying to squib it. Unfortunately for them, it hit Amani Bishop, and I didn't think Oak Ridge was expecting an onside, so heads-up play by Amani to jump on that. He wasn't fully turned around, so because of that, he was able to go and dive on the ball to prevent Science Hill from recovering an onside. But because of that mistake, Oak Ridge, with 1 or 2 quick passes here, now they don't have any timeouts, but if they use this wisely, they could threaten to get into field goal range. You know, Will Presley's in the ballgame.
Wildcats are going to send him streaking down the field. They're playing deep center field in the secondary. Blaine drops back to pass. Going to throw it deep. Cross the way. Pass is caught by Will Presley. Will makes the grab at the 32-yard line. A phenomenal catch. He had to go high up to get it. Only 9 seconds left on the clock. The Wildcats have enough time for maybe one quick pass on the sideline, then bring Eli Pearson in the ballgame.
What a show of just hand strength and pure will and determination by Will Presley. He just wrestled and fought for that ball along the sideline, all while jumping that high up in the air. Great effort and great protection by the offensive line to allow Blaine to throw that. Science Hill's going to take a timeout.
Let's take it with them. 9 seconds to play. First half, 21-14 Wildcats. Opening round of the playoffs. Back in 30 seconds.
Science Hill.
We'll get back once again to Blankenship Field. 9 seconds to play first half. The Wildcats have it after another 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. 1st and 10 at the Hilltopper 33-yard line. Still need a couple more yards to get into Eli Pearson range. They lead at 21-14. Let's see what the Wildcats do. Blaine's going to roll to his right. Going to throw it on the sideline, and it is going to be caught. And with 4 seconds to play, Eli Pearson will come into the game, and they won't have much time. Wildcats going for a long field goal, and this field goal, if he can hit it, will tie him for the lead, for actually the number one person in field goals. It'll be a long one, 39 yards from the right hash. Adam Washington to hold, Pellegrin to snap, Eli Pearson to attempt the field goal, and they're going to kind of let it freeze him just a bit. Wildcats going for a long field goal here, Alex Myers.
Yeah, one thing I've never understood, when a coach freezes you, everybody's already over the ball. I would have my kicker, I'd say just go ahead and snap the ball. If you're going to do that while we're over the ball, I'm going to tell my guy to go ahead and get a practice attempt. I've never understood why they don't do that, because, I mean, what are they going to do, throw a flag? No, I mean, you're already over the ball. Just say that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe that's crazy. But to me, I've always just thought you could kind of steal a rep there.
4 seconds to play in the first half, 21-14. It's kind of it's not a cold night, but we saw Eli's last kick. He really didn't get into it. Kind of a line drive. It allowed a really long return, which set up their touchdown. Hopefully his toe is warmed up as he goes to try to tie the all-time field goal record mark at Oak Ridge High School. As I mentioned, they'll put it down at the 29-yard line. He kicks off the field. Adam Washington will hold. Eli Pearson to attempt to try to give Oak Ridge a 24-14 lead. Pellegrin to snap. Eventually, here it is. It's good. The kick is on its way. Lots of leg. It's on its way. It's up, and it is good. Eli Pearson, Mr. Football Kicker. Oh, semifinalist, 24-14. We're at halftime. The Wildcats lead it by 10. Big way to close out the first half. The Wildcats will get the ball first in the second half. Great way to close out the first half.
Congratulations to Eli, but what a big play and moment in this ball game, because instead of going into the half up by 7, which you'd feel good about, now you go up by 10, which is a 2-possession game, and Science Hill has to kick to you to start the second half. So the game and what you're talking about at halftime could kind of change here because of the leg of Eli Pearson. And what a great job by Blaine Stanbury in this offense, putting them in position with only 17 seconds left. They took just 13 seconds to get the ball into field goal range.
Let's take a quick time out. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge, the Wild Band, will be performing here in a bit. The Laurel Lynn Green State Farm Insurance halftime show is coming up. They haven't put the points on the scoreboard yet, but it is 24-14. Laurel Lynn Green State Farm Insurance halftime show coming up. We'll have the scoring summary. Mark and Shauna Hayes will have the stats. We'll be back to Blankenship Field. First round of the playoffs, 24-14. Wildcats back in 3 minutes.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan with you as we kick off the Laura Lynn Green State Farm halftime report. We want to say a special thank you. We always say thank you to our sponsors, but tonight especially to Jan Marie West, Kevin Faust, Josh Stansberry, and Susan Steck, who I believe is Eli Pearson's grandmother. And what a moment she just witnessed a moment ago as Eli tied the program record for most field goals in a career with 19. So with Brandon Nickel. So Brandon Nickel, coached, of course, by the late Barry Saunders. So two of the greatest kickers in Oak Ridge program history. What a moment for Eli and Susan, and to Eli's entire family and friends. We appreciate you guys, and we congratulate you guys. It's halftime, and you heard from Melvin Jackson a moment ago. Melvin Jackson, of course, with Fats Barbecue, and it's Mike, it's one of our favorite parts of the broadcast, and I get to see if we can stump you this week as we have the Fats Barbecue trivia question. So Fats Barbecue, where family atmosphere meets terrific service. For the past 30 years, they've been proudly serving our community from their storefront at 366 East Tennessee Avenue, Oak Ridge, Tennessee 37830. In addition to our beloved restaurant, we also offer a food truck and catering services, ensuring they bring their delicious barbecue to you wherever you are. Their commitment is to create a welcoming space where everyone feels like they truly belong. This year, Fats is offering a family meal with a $30 value each game. Be the first person to text the right answer to 865-310-7207. Again, that number is 865-310-7207. If you get the answer correct first, that barbecue family pack valued at $30 will be yours. Tonight's trivia question. Science Hill's Steve Spurrier won the Heisman Trophy at Florida in 1966 and graduated from Johnson City in 1962. In the years he was in high school, his teams played against Oak Ridge 3 times in 1959, in 1960, and 1961. How many times did he win against Oak Ridge? Again, Steve Spurrier at Johnson City played against Oak Ridge in 1959, 1960, and 1961. How many times did he win against Oak Ridge? And a bonus question, what UT coach offered him a scholarship? That may be the hardest part of this question. How many times did Oak Ridge, or how many times did Steve Spurrier beat Oak Ridge? And what UT coach offered him a scholarship? Again, be the first one to text the answer to 865-310-7207, and you'll win that family pack. Mike, you're showing me you've written down the answer. You've got the first part. Let's see if you can guess the coach who offered him a scholarship. In the meantime, we're going to go to you for the scoring summary.
I'm going to guess.
Hold it. Hold the gun. Hold that thought.
Okay, I'll hold on. Okay, you want me to go ahead and do the scoring summary? I will. The Wildcats got off to a really good start. They drove the ball all the way down the field on an 18-yard drive, got down to about the 14-yard line, and Blaine Stansbury threw an errant pass, and they intercepted it. And the Hilltoppers drove down the field quite a way. And then they punted, and Dylan Woolley blocked it. Wayne Gibson blocked it. Dylan Woolley picked it up and ran it 22 yards into the end zone with 11:13 left in the second quarter, and the Wildcats went up 6-0. Then Eli Pearson came in, Mr. Reliable, up between the uprights, and the Wildcats led 7-6. But only 12 seconds later, on a double pass, their quarterback, Lane Clement, threw a backward pass to Adrian Perry. Adrian Perry reared back and threw it to Branson Newberry, who ran it into the end zone from 80 yards out and tied the game, or put 6 on the board, Then Carter Lockman came in for the Hilltoppers and tied the score up with 7-7 with 11:01 left in the second quarter. Then 5 minutes later, Blaine Stansbury threw a beautiful 4-yard pass. Malik Howard went up over everybody as he does and scored a 4-yard touchdown for the Wildcats. The Wildcats retook the lead 13-7. Then Eli Pearson came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats led by a touchdown, 14-7. And then with just 59 seconds left, the Wildcats drove the ball all the way down to the 13-yard line, where again Blaine Stansbury threw a beautiful pass to Malik Howard. From 13 yards out, the Wildcats went up 20-7 with just 59 seconds left. Then Eli Pearson came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats led 21-7. But just for a few seconds later, with only 18 seconds left in the second quarter, Adrian Perry took a handoff from the quarterback, ran it in from 50 yards out to put the Hilltoppers back on the scoreboard 13-21. Carter Lockman came in for the Hilltoppers, kicked it between the uprights, and the Wildcats again led by 7, 21-14. But with time running out, the Oak Ridge drove all the way down the field, got down to about the 25-yard line, where Eli Pearson attempted a 35-yard field goal for his record 19th field goal of the year to put the Wildcats up 24-14. Very exciting half for the Wildcats as they take the lead, and the time expired.
Thank you, Mike. Last week you didn't have a lot to say in the scoring summary. This week you're going to have to unwrap one of those mints and have a lozenge as you quite a bit, and likely the way that first half went, you'll have quite a bit to go in the second half as well. An exciting game here. We want to announce the winner. If you are still texting that number, you can go ahead and hold off until next week if there is a next week, because we've got a winner. Tonight's winner, James Mitchell. Coach Mitchell's played for the Wildcats, I believe the all-time leading tackler for the program's history at Oak Ridge. Also gives back. I know he's coaching at the Boys and Girls Club this year. He's coached at the high school. Just a phenomenal Wildcat through and through. He got the answer correct. So, how many times did Steve Spurrier beat Oak Ridge? They played 3 years. Did Oak Ridge beat Steve Spurrier? Steve Spurrier lost all 3 games against the Wildcats. The bonus question was the Wizard of Orange. Ray Mears offered him a basketball scholarship. UT football did not offer Steve Spurrier, and certainly that was something that UT regretted for years and years.
I was gonna say Bill Battle.
Nope, everybody would have thought you'd think the football coach, but unfortunately they did not. It was Ray Mears, the great Ray Mears. Before we send it to break, we got Mark Haste coming up with the stats. But we do want to remind you that Oak Ridge basketball is just a couple of weeks away, and we're already gearing up for our coverage here on Prep Radio. As in the past, our goal is to broadcast every game we can involving the Lady Wildcats and the Wildcats. Sometimes they play at different locations. We're currently looking for advertising sponsors and individual game sponsors. Individual game sponsors can be businesses, parents, grandparents, or just fans of these young athletes. We are a not-for-profit, and our goal is to continue this community service, which began way back in 1948 with WATO. We would love to stream every game, continue our coaches show and prepradio.com broadcasts. If you would like to help us, please contact David Clary by emailing dccatvoice, that's dccatvoice@aol.com, or text him at 865-310-7207. Oak Ridge opens up their season November 17th at the Wildcat Arena. Please help us get these games on the air. Thank you very much for your continuing support of Oak Ridge Sports. Thank you to Laura Lynn and the Laura Lynn Green State Farm Halftime Report. More coming up your way, including the stats with Mark Haste after this 3-minute timeout.
Marquez back here at Blankenship Field, where Oak Ridge leads at the half by a score of 24-14. Looking at the statistics for the first half, first for the Wildcats, they're led on the ground by Wayne Gibson. He has 12 carries for 41 yards. Blaine Stansbury, 6 carries for 34 yards. So as a team, Wildcats have 75 yards on the ground on 18 carries. That's an average of 4.2 yards per carry. Through the air, the Wildcats quarterback Blaine Stansbury is 14 of 18 for 144 yards. He has 1 interception and 2 touchdowns. Receiving those 2 touchdowns were Malik Howard. He had 5 completions for 54 yards, as I said, 2 touchdowns. Jarrell Jimerson, 4 receptions for 27 yards. Zayden Williams, 2 receptions for 23 yards. Will Presley had an impressive 20-yard reception. Adam Washington, 2 receptions for 20 yards. So as a team, Wildcats on the ground have 75 yards on 18 carries. They have 144 yards through the air on 14 receptions for a total offense tonight in the first half of 219 yards. Wildcats have 13 first downs in the first half. They've been penalized 3 times for 20 yards. Now looking at Science Hill, they're led on the ground by Aiden Perry, 5 carries for 58 yards. Nolique Anderson has 4 carries for 21 yards. So as a team, the Hilltoppers have rushed the ball 9 times, gaining 79 yards on the ground. That's an average of 8.8 yards per carry. But keep in mind, one of those carries was for a 50-yard touchdown by Aiden Perry. Through the air, the Hilltoppers quarterback Lane Clement, he's 8 of 13 for 129 yards. His long is 80 yards. Receiving that 80-yard pass, along with 2 other completions, is Branson Newberry. He has 3 receptions for 94 yards. Marcus Jones, 2 receptions for 13 yards. Braden Austin, he has an 11-yard reception. Aiden Perry, 6-yard catch. And Jabril Fain has a 5-yard catch. So as a team, the Hilltoppers on the ground, 79 yards on 9 carries, 129 yards through the air on 8 receptions for a total offense tonight of 208 yards. Hilltoppers have 6 first downs in the first half. They've been penalized twice for 15 yards. So looking at the team side by side, rushing yards, Oak Ridge 75, Science Hill 79. Passing yards, Oak Ridge 144, Science Hill 129. Total offense, Oak Ridge with 219, Science Hill 208. First downs, Oak Ridge has 13, Science Hill 6. Penalties, Oak Ridge has 3 penalties for 20 yards, Science Hill 2 penalties for 15 yards time of possession. Oak Ridge, they really ate up the clock in the first quarter. They have had the ball 15 minutes and 39 seconds, where Science Hill has had the ball for 8 minutes and 21 seconds. So Oak Ridge with almost twice as much time off the clock as Science Hill. So again, Oak Ridge on top of Science Hill at the half by a score of 24-14. Alex?
Thank you, Mark. And we failed to mention earlier in the halftime show, but each one of those touchdowns is brought to you, of course, by the class of 1989. When we come back, we'll kick off things in the second half. Let's take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, second half, Oak Ridge leads 24-14.
To start the second half, in the kickoff for the Hilltoppers, number 37, Carter Lockman. Deep for the Wildcats, number 6, Tyree Porter, and number 9, Jarrell Jimerson.
And we appreciate Laura Lynn Green and the State Farm halftime show. The Wildcats are out of the dressing room getting ready to receive the kick. And I was talking to Alex during the halftime. The special teams for the Hilltoppers have really cost them here in the first half. The Wildcats have the lead 24-14, and they're getting ready to kick off. Here it is, high end over end kick. It's going to be a touchback. And the Wildcats will have it 1st and 10 at the 20, but 2 block punts and whatever that was, a squib kick or an onside kick, whatever it was, set up Oak Ridge great for that field goal.
Yeah, you think about the first block punt. This is a 10-point ball game. Well, Dylan Woody scored a touchdown off the block punt from Wayne Gibson. So right there's 7 of those 10. And then the other 3 off of that squib kick that was failed, it was mishit. Oak Ridge gets the 3 points. So this is a tie ball game if they just don't shoot themselves in the foot.
First down, 10 yards to go. Opening play of the second half. The movement, the Wildcats, either they didn't get the snap count, hear the snap count, but the Wildcats moved, but the ball didn't, and the Wildcats are going to be penalized 5 yards.
But, on the other side of the coin there, Oak Ridge probably feels the same way. Hey, if we don't get beat by the trick play early, and if we just wrap up around midfield there, they haven't scored. And so it's funny how tight the margins are when it gets into playoff football.
First down, 15 yards to go at the 15-yard line. Blaine, a quick pass is complete to Adam Washington, 20. Breaks a little bit of a tackle and moves the ball up close to the 24-yard line. Nice gain. That's about the 3rd or 4th reception by Adam Washington. I love to see big number 11 get a reception.
Yeah, he's just so sure-handed. It was a nice throw by Blaine early in the ball game. He had a ball batted down that he tried to get out to the sideline. That time an edge rusher was coming at him. He changed his arm angle and almost sidearmed the ball to get it around that defender. It was a really athletic play.
Second down, 6 yards to go. The ball is at the Oak Ridge 24-yard line. Third quarter, 24-14. The Wildcats in the lead, 11:20 to play in the first round. Blaine back to pass, fires a pass. It's going to be incomplete. In and out of the hands. I think he might have, Wildcat receiver Jarrell Jimerson might have heard footsteps, and it falls incomplete. It'll be up to Blaine to convert a 3rd down and long.
Yeah, but he's done that a bunch of times. So you look at who is he targeted on those 3rd downs. Well, you would think Malik Howard. He started off there, but then he's gotten other guys into the mix. So if you're Science Hill, you've got to guard everybody. Zayden Williams has caught some balls. Jarrell's caught balls. Adam Washington's been the hot target of late. And, of course, again, out of the backfield, you've got Wayne Gibson.
3rd down, 6 yards to go. Blaine rolls to his left, has time, goes across the way. Pass is caught for a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down up at the 35-yard line. Nice throw, nice catch. 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down.
Yeah, just a great throw. That route took a long time to develop, and Oak Ridge knows that. So they roll Blaine out towards the sideline to give him a little more time. That offensive line does a nice job protecting. And then Blaine just with a dart. He throws enough air on it to get it over the first line of defense, which was the linebackers, but drops it in there before the safety could come over the top and help. Just a great execution.
Nose of the ball right at the 35-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Blaine this time straight drop. Has time. Now will run. 35. Goes out of bounds right at the 40-yard line. The Wildcats up top 24-14. And once again, we had to pay a rights fee to stream the ball game on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. And we appreciate Jan Marie West, Kevin Faust, Josh Stansbury, and Susan Steck for helping us out with our rights fee. If we hold on and win this ball game, we'll be doing it all again next week, either at Green Hill or possibly here at Blankenship Field against Smyrna. 7-0 Smyrna has an early lead over Green Hill. Second down, 5 yards to go for the Wildcats. 10:58 to play third quarter. Play halted just for a second. The quarterback now ready. Wildcats 3 receivers to the right. It's going to be Blaine running it. Blaine getting a first down and more across midfield into Topper territory. He's tackled finally at the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
Wow, we've seen Blaine more aggressive with his legs here in the second half of this senior season. That time, he was the bowling ball, and he took about 3 pins there. I thought he hurt one of the Science Hill Hilltopper defenders. He lowered his shoulder there, Mike. I'm not used to seeing that from Blaine.
Yeah, Blaine knew exactly what he was going to do with the ball that time. And great blocking up front for him to get that badly needed first down into Hilltopper territory.
Ball's at the 48-yard line, 10:23 to play, third quarter. Blaine will pitch it to Wayne, got a good block, cuts across the middle part of the field, moves the ball to the Hilltopper 40-yard line. The Wildcats, incidentally, have played Science Hill. There's a flag on the play, might have a hold. That's been a problem for Oak Ridge, but not so much today. But they're just going to say it's illegal procedure. What I was going to say is the Wildcats and Hilltoppers have played 4 previous times in the postseason, 1979, 1993, 2005 and 2012. This being the 5th, the Wildcats are 4-0 in those postseason ball games. They are going to get called for holding, as I initially said, and that'll be all the way back at the 42-yard line, where now it'll be 1st and 20 yards to go for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and Oak Ridge has had some great runs in those years, at least a couple of those that I can think of that you just mentioned. So hopefully this game can be the springboard of another great postseason run for the Wildcats.
Yeah, 2 of those 4 years they played for the state championship. Blaine's way back, setting up the screen. It's complete, 50. Jarrell Jimerson, 40, 39-30, 25-20. Jarrell Jimerson makes a cut to the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 Wildcats. Great play. Blaine Stanbury to Jarrell Jimerson. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
Just great play design by this coaching staff and great execution. The line is so tricky. You want to let guys through, not too quickly, but you have to let them through so you can get downfield and block for Jarrell. Jarrell, that play kind of loops. It takes a while to develop, but if it does and the defense comes up too far, there's a lot of room to run. That's exactly what happened.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 15-yard line. 9:23 to play, third quarter. The Wildcats, Wayne Gibson once again makes a cut. Inside this time, not quite as much running room. It goes down right at the 11-yard line. Good game, though. 9-13 and counting, 24-14. The winner of this game will play either Green Hill or Smyrna. We have never played either one of those schools in football before. We've played Smyrna in basketball before. Green Hill's a new school in Mount Juliet, if you're unfamiliar with them. Wildcats, if Smyrna can win that ball game, Alex, the Wildcats could be back here at Blankenship Field next Friday. We'll talk about that in a second. Second down, 6 yards to go. The ball's at the 11. Blaine's going to run it. Cuts to the outside. 5, 4. He goes down there. It'll be close to another Oak Ridge, 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. Great run by Blaine Stansbury.
It's going to be close. They have not signaled yet. They do. They signal it. It's 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. Great play by Blaine. And, boy, you're really sitting pretty if you're Oak Ridge here. 1st and goal, already up 10 points with 8:39 to go in the third, looking to punch one in right here. Here comes that heavy package. Liam Gerber coming in at an extra tight end, and then Tim Walters going to be in the backfield along with Malik Howard at fullback. If you're Wayne Gibson, this is a dream come true seeing those guys blocking for you.
What's been very, very impressive, I think, tonight for the Wildcat offense is they have converted several big third down conversions, which have extended drives and resulted in scores for the Wildcats. 1st and goal at the 4, and now play is halted, and it looks like we're going to have another penalty. It's going to be a dead ball foul, and that's illegal procedure against the Wildcats. Those things just cannot happen. Sometimes, you bring in the heavy package and, you kind of get out of the rhythm, and it'll be a 5-yard penalty. It'll be first down goal to go at the 9.
Yeah, I think it was actually a delay of game. I looked up after the flag was thrown, and there was 0 on the play clock. So might change the play here. We'll see if they still run it.
Wayne's going to get inside the 10. That's exactly where he started. So the Wildcat penalty, unless the Wildcats, things like this, in playoff games, you're up 10 right now, but that penalty made it just a little bit more difficult. Now it's 2nd down goal to go at the 9.
Yeah, that's why I kind of question if they would stick with the run or if they might try to change it up, because that power package, when you just need 2 or 3 yards, that's kind of what they go to. But when you're out 8, 9, 10 yards away, Oak Ridge just tend to have more success kind of spreading the defense out, creating a little space for their weapons, and now that's exactly what they'll do here on 2nd down.
And see what Howard does here. Blaine's going to look to his left, throw it to him in the end zone, and that is almost picked off. It's a good idea, but there was a lot of yellow pants in that direction too. I think they had the same idea as I did. You know, they're going to go to Malik, and there was a lot of Hilltoppers there, and we're lucky that wasn't picked off.
Yeah, I don't see if, wouldn't be surprised if Oak Ridge did some kind of fake trickery action, pointing out Malik as the main target, and then maybe running almost on like a underneath route, running Jarrell or maybe Zayden underneath, trying to fool the defense, getting them distracted towards Malik and maybe leaving another guy wide open. We've seen them do it throughout the year. Let's see if they can do that here.
3rd down goal to go. The ball is at the 9-yard. In motion comes Jarrell. Jarrell gets the handoff. He's going to throw it into the end zone, and it is
Too short. Incomplete.
incomplete and almost picked off once again. That was not a bad play. Jarrell just didn't get much on the throw, and once again, Eli Pearson's going to come in to attempt a field goal. 24-14. They had it 1st and goal at the 4, and they're going to have to settle for an Eli Pearson field goal, which will go for the record all by himself. His 20th field goal if he can knock it down. Pellegrin to snap. Adam Washington to hold. 24-14 Oak Ridge. A short field goal. They'll spot it down right around the 16. The ball is down. The kick is on its way. It's blocked. They pick it up, and they're going to run down the field. All the way down. The Wildcats are going to try to track him down, but they're not going to do it. That is a touchdown. No, he is out at the 1-yard line. He is out at the 1. They block the field goal and come all the way down. Or did they give it a touchdown? He hit the pylon, and it's a score. So just like that, as we talked about special teams, touchdown, Science Hill.
What a turn of events. Oak Ridge looking to go up 3 possessions, 1st and goal at the 4. A self-inflicted penalty sets them back, and then they go for the field goal attempt, and it's been special teams against them that's hurt them all night. Now they block a kick and run it back 89 yards. What a flip of the scenery here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that penalty really hurt the Wildcats. It was 1st and goal at the 4, and they ended up being penalized the 5 yards, and then disaster. It's a 3-point lead still for the Wildcats, though. 24-21 our score. Back with the Topper kickoff in 60 seconds.
Thank Oak Ridge Pharmacy for their support of Oak Ridge High School athletics. Oak Ridge Pharmacy is a local pharmacy dedicated to your family's health. Located at 854 Main Street West, you can purchase general admission tickets for home games each week, Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thank you, Oak Ridge Pharmacy. Lockman to kick off. Porter and Jefferson deep for the Wildcats.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Here is the kick. It's going to be a touchback in the end zone. So you're exactly right. What a turn of events. You get the ball all the way inside the 5-yard line, and it ends up being a touchdown. They've had 3 monster plays against the Wildcats for their 3 scores.
Yeah, they have not been able to drive the ball with consistency. It's been the big plays, and you talk about how big that penalty is, not to just beat a dead horse, but Dave, like in basketball, you miss a 3 and then give up a 3. They call that a 6-point swing. You don't hear that in football so much, but really that penalty's almost a 14-point penalty because it takes what was likely a scoring drive away from the Wildcats for 7 points and it forces them to try that field goal, which would have never been blocked had it been a touchdown instead. And what a turn of events.
Oak Ridge first down, 10 yards to go. After a great drive down the field, Blaine's going to pass it. Goes on the sideline. Will Presley makes the reception at the 36-yard line. 1st and 10, a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down.
Just really impressed again with this effort by the offensive line and pass protection. Blaine, has all day to throw, and a lot of what Oak Ridge is doing is down the field and things that take a little while to develop, and you cannot run those plays and can't execute them if you don't have ample time to throw. They're doing a tremendous job. Bafford, Young, all those guys, Chipman up front.
24-21 Oak Ridge, 1st and 10. The Wildcats, Blaine Stansbury trying to run it, not much there. Maybe 2 off the right side, and it'll be a gain of 2. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. 7:09 to play 3rd quarter. You're exactly right. What a switch of what could have been a big lead for the Wildcats is just a field goal separating the two teams. The Wildcats 2nd down, 9 yards to go with their backs to Jackson Square as we play here in the 3rd quarter. The winner plays either Green Hill or Smyrna in the 2nd round. The ball is at the 36-yard line, closer to the 37-yard line of the Wildcats. Wildcats split out 2 receivers to the right. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Senior quarterback Blaine Stansbury with Wayne Gibson in the backfield. Pressure, breaking down. Blaine's running. Now throws it. Pass is caught. That's a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. Jarrell Jimerson, a great reception, but even a better rollout by Blaine Stansbury to find Jarrell. 1st and 10 in Topper territory at the 47.
One of the most underrated parts of Blaine's game is his ability to, as he's moving and plays are developing, to keep his eyes downfield. And just as impressive, Jarrell Jimerson makes more plays kind of freelancing coming back towards the quarterback than just about anybody I've seen at the high school level. Just great job on both of those senior scouts.
1st and 10 Wildcats after the 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down at the 47, 6:25 to play. 3rd quarter, 24-21, Oak Ridge in the lead. Blaine Stansbury, 2 receivers to his left, going to hand it to Wayne. Wayne is tackled right at the line of scrimmage. He's just so small. At that time, the Hilltoppers just drop him. Big number 74, no gain, 2nd and 10.
Braden Austin in there on the tackle. It's interesting. We've seen Oak Ridge in the first part of this game have success on first down, but as the game's gone on, you talked about Oak Ridge's ability. It's been impressive how many times they've converted on 3rd down. Well, the reason they're not converting on 2nd down is because it's 2nd and long almost every time. So Oak Ridge has got to start doing a better job on first down.
There's a nice pass caught by Jarrell at the 40-yard line, pushed back at that point. He is still well short. Jarrell getting a lot of touches. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 yards to go. I think running Wayne up the middle is not going to work. I'd love to see him get outside a little bit. 3rd down, 3 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball is at the Hilltopper 40. 24-21 the score. We're down to 5:22 to play in the 3rd quarter with the Wildcats in the lead. The Wildcats have been able to pick up a lot of 3rd down conversions. Let's see what Stansbury can do here. Jimerson comes in motion to the near side. Blaine's going to run it. 40. He's got a first down. Moves the ball to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 Wildcats. Another nice run by Blaine Stansbury.
Yeah, it was design quarterback keeper the whole way. They faked it to had Wayne come across from left to right, but you knew that was a design because the right tackle, Nate Stevens, came pulling immediately, trying to pave the way and plow the way for Blaine to run that off left tackle. So nice play design. They get the sticks. Now let's see here. The challenge for me is, can Oak Ridge do something with first down? It doesn't have to be a run. Perhaps it's a quick throw out to Jarrell Jimerson that kind of simulates a run, but you got to do something to get positive yardage here.
From the 35-yard line, first down, 10 yards to go, Zayden Williams. Here's the handoff to Wayne. A little bit of running room, but not much. He does get about 4, maybe even 5, as he got up to officially the 31-yard line. So it's a gain of only 3, 2nd and 7, but it is positive. 4:21 to play. Wayne's usually has pretty good vision as he makes his cut. Just hasn't been a whole lot of lanes for him to run through. He does pick up officially 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, it's just really a hats off. I mean, I think our offensive line's played pretty well. I just think this defensive line, kind of like Maryville's last year, is just a really good unit, and you're not going to get gaping, gashing holes and runs against these people.
Second down, 6 yards to go at the Hilltopper 31. Blaine the pass. Dumps it. It's another first down down the Oak Ridge sideline across the 20 down to the 18-yard line. The Wildcats, Wayne Gibson there on the reception. 1st and 10, Oak Ridge. Another great reception by the Wildcat receivers. Another great throw, and the Wildcats going quickly. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball inside the 20. Wayne's going to run it, and Wayne's going to go down. I think it was Wayne right at the 16 or 17-yard line. It'll be second down and 9 yards to go.
It's just a little bit shorter. I thought he got much closer to the 16, but they're going to mark him about a yard short. And again, it's second and long here, but we'll see what they do. They've got trips to the right side with Malik Howard. A lot of times in this formation, they'll use Malik as a blocker out here to try to get something to Jarrell. Let's see what they do.
We've been inside the 15-yard line a couple times and didn't get any points out of it. Second and 9 here. 3 receivers to the right. Wildcats, Blaine has time. Going to throw it. Jarrell's open. Slips a bit. Breaks a tackle. 15. Moves the ball down to the 11-yard line. Lost his footing initially. It'll be third down again facing the Wildcats.
Yeah, they faked what I thought they might do, which is they faked the throw initially to Jarrell. It was supposed to go downfield, but because nobody was open, Blaine just tossed it out there. But since the blockers that weren't blockers on that play, they turned into receivers. When Jarrell caught that, you mentioned he slipped. He had no blockers, so he had to just make a move and make a guy miss. What a talented player he is. He was able to do that even with nobody out there to block for him.
Let's see if Blaine runs it again here. Third down, 4 yards to go. The ball at the 12-yard line. Play is halted, and officials are going to come over and say what? It's going to be the Wildcats stepping backwards, and unfortunately they're pointing towards the Hilltoppers. The Wildcats are. It is against the Hilltoppers, and that'll give Oak Ridge a first down. So the Wildcats get a little break.
Yeah, it was an interesting call there because Science Hill came out of there with the ball. I wonder if one of the players swatted at the ball. And this is an interesting boat. It was one of those, neither side thinks they're wrong. Both sides are pointing at each other, but thankfully they do step the marker off, and it looks like it's going to be enough for first and goal, but there's still some confusion as the officials are still kind of talking amongst each other.
The one official coming over, tracking down the white shirt, now coming over to talk to head coach of the Hilltoppers. I wasn't really sure, honestly, what happened. Wildcats thinking they have a first down. They're inside the 10, and this conversation is still taking place. And not sure. I didn't find out before the ball game where the officials are from. Maybe we can wander over to Guy and ask him if he was told before the ball game. But it is going to be a first down, goal to go situation for the Wildcats. We were down here before. It was first and goal at the 4, and that ended up resulting in a blocked field goal. The Wildcats need to get 6 right here, Alex.
Yeah, they most certainly do, David. We could use the point. 3 points is not enough. Really, they just got to punch it in right here.
Ball's at the 7-yard line. First down, goal to go at the 7. Wildcat, Blaine Stanbury running it. Cuts to the outside. He's at the 3. He's at the 2. He's at the goal line. He scores a touchdown for the Wildcats. Blaine Stanbury, 7 yards into the end zone, and Oak Ridge leads it 30-21, and the fireworks go off once again here at Blankenship Field. Blaine Stanbury for the touchdown.
What a great job, David. A good blocking that time to get him outside, and he did it all on his own with his legs. Drove it right in from 7 yards out to put the Wildcats up 30-21. Eli Pearson's kick is forthcoming.
Third quarter, Eli Pearson to attempt the extra point. There's movement on the line by Oak Ridge. Wildcats have had a few of those. Wildcats had their last kick blocked, and I noticed a couple times earlier in the game where they were getting some good penetration on our kicks. It is false start for the Wildcats. Pellegrim will snap this ball. Adam Washington will hold the ball. Eli Pearson attempts the extra point. 30-21, Oak Ridge in the lead. It'll be Pearson who attempt the extra point. Here's the ball down. The kick is on its way. It's up, and it splits the uprights. Eli Pearson kicks it, and the Wildcat lead is back up to 10. 31-21 our score. We'll take a break. We'll be back with a Wildcat kickoff in 60 seconds.
In the second quarter, Smyrna 14, Green Hill 14.
Pearson to kick off for the Wildcats, deep for the Hilltoppers, number 2, Branson Newberry, and number 17, Marcus Jones.
Welcome back once again to Blankenship Field. Eli Pearson to kick off, 31-21 the score. Steve Spurrier, as we talked about, played for the Hilltoppers back in the day, won a Heisman Trophy. We've talked about this many times. 2 different Heisman Trophy winners have played here at Blankenship Field. Paul Horning did it for Louisville Flagey. He went on and won a Heisman Trophy at Notre Dame. Kind of ripped Johnny Majors. Johnny Majors should have gotten it that year. And Steve Spurrier, the old ball coach, played on this field. But as we mentioned in our trivia, he was 0 of 3 against the Wildcats. As the Wildcats getting ready to kick off, Eli needs to put this one in the end zone. Here's his approach. Here's his kick. He hits it well into Wren, and that is touchback. The Wildcats back up by 10, guys.
You know, one of the things about Steve Spurrier that I always appreciated growing up as a Tennessee fan, like, I didn't particularly like the guy, but as I got older, I always appreciated, Dave, his sense of humor, and even the little jabs, even sometimes at UT's expense. I just couldn't help but kind of like the guy, even though he was kind of a like in wrestling, they'd call the guy a heel. He was supposed to not be likable, but I kind of couldn't help but enjoy his humor.
I think Lane Kiffin is kind of taking over that role as Clement's going to pass across the way, caught, and they move the ball across the 40 on the slant. One of the hardest passes to defend, and he's all the way up to the 45-yard line, and we've got an injured topper on the field. Second injury timeout, 1:51 to play, third quarter. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 60 seconds.
We have an official's timeout.
Sorry, I don't know who you are, so I can put your name in my phone. Who is this? Welcome back once again to Blankenship Field, 31-21. The Wildcats in the lead, and we got a score from the Green Hill Smyrna ball game. They're all tied up at 14. 1:51 to play, third quarter. A lot of points scored in this one. It's been a fun game to watch. I don't feel so. I know the Johnson City people are hoping this game will go a little quicker because they've got a long trip home as they hand it off for a big run once again. They've just gashed the Oak Ridge line. That's a gain. He got a terrible spot, but he gained about 7 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 3.
And I'll say, I think this officiating crew's done a really nice job. But they have been consistent with one thing, which is they've marking guys a half a yard to a short on both sides all night long, I've thought.
Yeah, I agree 100%. 2nd and 3, they're going to run again. And the Wildcats try to make the stop. Boy, he got popped pretty good, but not before he picks up a first down. They run the ball. Really nice run by Aiden Perry. It's another first down in Wildcat territory at the 42-yard line. 1:12 and counting in the third quarter. Science Hill moving the ball around as they have done all season long. They finished. Their losses are to Jefferson County, Dobbins-Bennett, and to Maryville. And the Wildcats trying to slow them down to play third quarter, 31-21. Clement at quarterback, hands it to the back, and he moves the ball. Not so much yardage that time, gain of about 2, where the Wildcats make the stop right at the line. Stop is made by Tim Walters and company. It'll be for the Hilltoppers, 2nd down and about 8 yards to go.
And this is a big spot for the Wildcat defense because you still feel pretty good. They're in your territory, but again, they've scored on big plays. If you can force them to drive 40 more yards, then I think you just kind of tip your cap. You got to avoid the big plays, though.
He runs the ball this time right into a wall of Cardinal and Gray. The Wildcats, King Sandoval, Tim Walters, and that's the final play of the third quarter. The Wildcats, 12 minutes away from moving on to the second round. They lead Johnson City Science Hill 31-21. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. Back in 60 seconds.
This is the end of the third quarter.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. It's 3rd down, 8 yards to go for the Hilltoppers at the Oak Ridge 40-yard line. Opening play of the fourth quarter. Oak Ridge bringing pressure. Here comes the screen pass. It's going to be incomplete. Didn't get enough on the throw. The Wildcats came in with the blitz. It'll be 4th down and 8 yards to go.
And Oak Ridge has to be lucky and kind of thinking their lucky stars that ball was thrown short because the pressure was on the quarterback, because if he was able to step into that and get everything on it, that guy has a first down and probably a lot more. He was wide open.
11:50 game, obviously 4-down territory at the Oak Ridge 40. 4th down, 8 yards to go. 3 receivers to the right. The Wildcats playing very soft coverage here as they now watch Clement go back to pass. Throws a pass. It's going to be caught, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. I think enough for the first down right at the 30-yard line. The Wildcats were so soft on their coverage, and that is a first down for the Toppers.
Yeah, and we've seen that sometimes on first down for Oak Ridge. Their defense has kind of played off a little bit, but you got to be a little bit tighter right there.
First down, 10 yards to go. They're going to run it. Getting to the outside. Nice tackle, though, right at the 25-yard line. Somebody lost their helmet. One of the Toppers' helmet came rolling away like a guillotine. It'll be a gain on the play up to the 25-yard line. 11:37 to play in the ball game. 31-21. The Toppers on the march right now. Here they come to the line. Quavez Williams on the tackle. The clock is moving. 11:35 to play. The ball's at the 24-yard line. 2 receivers to the left. 1 lone running back. Tight formation, the Wildcats in the lead by 10, but the Toppers trying to score here. Quarterback's going to pass it across the way. Pass is incomplete. Wildcats on the slant once again, covered well. It'll be third down and 4 yards to go.
Yeah, hopefully he's all right. He came off the field seeming like he was okay, but JT Gormley, one of the leaders for this defense, has come off and gone towards Brian Leffler, and in his place has come in Blake Woody. Thankfully for Oak Ridge, Blake's got a lot of experience, and he's a nice player as well.
11:19 to play in the ball game. Third down, 4 yards to go from the 24. The pitch to the tailback, trying to get outside. He is knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. Nice play by Oak Ridge. The Wildcats got him. I think it was Amante Bishop and a host of other Wildcats. It'll be 4th and 4.
Yeah, and once you get in the fourth quarter, you're not just looking where did they get him down, but how. They got him down in bounds. So again, with under 11 minutes to go, if you can get this stop, the clock continues to run. Again, Oak Ridge, you've got to play up here.
4th and 4, Clement to pass in the end zone. Pass is in for a touchdown. Right down the middle of the field, and the Toppers close the gap once again. 10:42 to play. The Wildcats give up a score to Johnson City Science Hill.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, and really, again, not bad defense from Oak Ridge. It was just really the one route that was open that far down the field, and the quarterback, you got to give it to him. It was a really great throw, well placed. Tyree Porter came over and stretched and dove for it. I thought he was going to get a fingertip on it. He just missed it. It's just a perfectly placed ball.
Extra point attempt is on its way. It's up, and it's good, and just like that, it's back to a 3-point game. Wildcats on top, 31-28. We'll be back with the Hilltopper kickoff in 60 seconds.
Wildcat football boosters would like to thank Absolute Millworks for helping us pack the ship tonight by providing 100 tickets to Oak Ridge High School students for tonight's game. Thank you, Absolute Millworks, for your continued support of Oak Ridge football.
Welcome back once again to Blankenship Field. 10:42 to play in the ball game, and what has been a wild game. Kind of reminds me of that 2012 game won by Oak Ridge 35-28. Here is a kickoff by the Hilltoppers, and that could have been returned, but it hits the 1 yard line, and the Wildcats will take over 1st and 10 at the 20. Hilltoppers just won't go away, guys.
No, that's what Mike and I were just discussing. Mike, it's been an incredibly entertaining game, regardless of who you're cheering for, but these guys have no fight in them, or no quit in them, excuse me.
Yeah, I was going to say, they got plenty of fight in them. They're really hanging tough with Wildcats and executing very well here, especially in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Wildcats can't get conservative here on offense. There's a flag on the play. We're going to check the call. The Wildcats are pointing towards the Hilltoppers, but it looks like the officials saw it differently. That's a 5-yard step off. Procedural calls, some little calls like this have hurt the Wildcats the entire ball game. It's 1st and 15 at the 15-yard line. Can't get conservative, but this far down deep, you don't want to make any big mistakes. As the Wildcats, Blaine Stanbury brings them up. 1st down, 15 to go, at 10:42 to play. Play clock down to 14. Play signaled in from the sideline, down to 10. Blaine has it. 1st down, 15 yards to go. Blaine's going to run the ball himself, and just not much there. He goes down to the 15-yard line. I don't know if that was the call, but it's a short gain, and it'll be 2nd down and long.
Well, certainly I don't think they would have been expecting it, and I certainly wasn't, but They were at home in the defensive tackle. Again, that defensive line for Science Hill has just been really impressive, and they've been solid all game long. And again, here's a second long after a self-inflicted penalty. We'll see if they can get Will back in. We haven't heard from Malik Howard in a while. This would be a great time for him to make a big play.
Second down, 15 yards to go. No gain on the play. Blaine's going to roll the pass. Looks, fires a pass. It is caught at the 25-yard line. Needs to get up to around the 20 or the 30-yard line. It'll be Williams. They need to get to the 30 for a first. It's shy, and once again, a kind of a short spot. The chains were put it down right. It's going to be 3rd and 4. The Wildcats, big play in the ball game. They have it at the Hilltopper 26-yard line. 3rd down, 4 yards to go. 9:30 to play in the ball game. The Wildcats desperately need a first down. The way the Hilltoppers have been moving the ball against the Wildcats. No penalties here. Have to overcome another one. Quick pass, batted down. The Wildcats will be forced to punt.
I think that's the 3rd pass that Darius Delacroix, he's batted down this game. He's not a particularly tall lineman, but for whatever reason, he is getting into the pathway of these throws, and this is a turn of events because now all of a sudden you're kicking back to a Science Hill team who could take the lead.
Here's the kick, and he doesn't get a good one. It's a very short kick. It's going to roll inside and get a good Oak Ridge roll. He didn't really hit it hard. He kind of rushed it a bit. He rolls down to the 42-yard line. And the Wildcats defense, which has given up 28 points in this one, has got the rally. Their lead is only 3 at 28. 9:06 to play.
Yeah, it's time for a big defense. You know, this is the defense who was top 5 in the state for so much of the year in points allowed. Obviously, the last couple weeks, the competition stepped up, and they haven't played as sharply. But this would be a really, really good time for them to come up with a big stop.
They're going to run the ball, and they're going to run for a while here down the sideline. 50. Wildcats, that's a gash of 15, almost 15 yards up to the 45-yard line. They're just out-quicking the Wildcats right now. It'll be 1st and 10 in Oak Ridge territory at the 45. 8 minutes, 57 seconds to play in the ball game. 1st and 10, Hilltoppers.
Yeah, outside of Maryville, this is one of the more athletic teams that we've seen as far as guys that can make plays with the ball when they get into space. And it's not just 1 or 2 guys. There is a plethora of guys on this offense that can hurt Oak Ridge's defense.
Lane Clement back to pass, hit hard. Here's the pass down the way. It's overthrown, incomplete. Hilltopper band across the way. He's been playing most of the game. Hilltopper fans seem to be a little upset, but just an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10. Newberry, the intended receiver. 8:40 to play in the game. 31-28 Wildcats. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the Oak Ridge 45-yard line.
And we knew we would see this. It was just a matter of it would only be big moments. But here comes Jared Bafford and Malik Howard on that defensive front. And big-time plays, they want big-time players.
2nd and 10, handoff to the back, and he is going to go down after only about a yard. The Wildcats make the stop, and who was it? Jared Bafford on the tackle.
Bafford in there immediately making an impact, and here we go, 3rd and long. This point in the game, this is probably 4-down territory, so if you're Oak Ridge, you've got to defend this thinking they're not necessarily trying to get all 10 yards on this play. They're probably happy to get 5-6 yards, set up an easy 4th and short, but you can't play so far off.
3rd down, 10 yards to go. Clement back to pass, feeling pressure. Pass is going to be batted down. It'll be 4th and 10. Wildcats came in strong, and you mentioned there was Big Tim coming in there along with others. It's 4th and 10, 8:03 to play in the game. Wildcats in the lead, 31-28.
And it was, as Bafford and Malik Howard exit the ball game, here comes King Sandoval. It was Howard or Tim one that batted that ball down. So both those players that came in made an impact.
Here's a quick kick by the punter. The Wildcats got to get away from it. It's going to roll dead at the 9-yard line. That's Bob Nayland football right there. Alex Myers, a quick kick on 4th and 10. They didn't look like they were going to, not, the patented quick kick, but it looked like they were going to go for it, and he just punted it.
Yeah, it was just a really cool play. Something, born in the 90s, I haven't seen a lot of that, but my dad used to grow up talking to me about that, and especially when you got a situation where you don't think you're going to convert, you want to surprise the defense. Really impressive and fun to watch, kind of a throwback play. We've talked a lot about Steve Spurrier tonight. Nice to see a throwback play there, and it worked well because not only did it hit deep into Oak Ridge territory, but it was a low kind of a liner, and it rolled back inside their 10-yard line.
Ball's at the 7-yard line. The Wildcats, with their back to the end zone. The Wildcats need to get out of there. Wayne Gibson gets the ball to the 10-yard line. Clock moving, 7:45 to play. Not a bad call at all, though, by the Hilltopper coaching staff because the Wildcats are backed up. They don't want to make any mistakes. It'll be for the Wildcats, 2nd down 7.
It's easy for me to say up here, I'm not calling plays, but I still think you got to be aggressive. I know you don't want to turn the ball over deep in your own territory, but to me, they've stopped the run. You've got to throw the ball here. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go for a 50-yard gain, but you've got to put the ball in the air and get the ball outside your playmakers because right now, between the tackles, there's nothing going.
2nd and 7. Here's a quick play. Gerald Emerson. It's incomplete. Wow, that was some great coverage there. Wildcats are lucky it wasn't picked off. It'll be for the Wildcats now 3rd and 7.
Jabril Fain in coverage there. I thought that Jarrell had a step on him. It wasn't a bad ball by Blaine, but he's a really tall safety, and for a defensive back, he's got a lot of height. That he was beat, but he jumped up and just made an incredible play, almost came down with an interception. And now it's 3rd and long. Again, you don't want to throw an interception deep in your own territory. We'll see if Oak Ridge goes conservative or if they try to get the 1st down.
Big play in the ball game, obviously. 7:05 to play in the game. 31-28. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Blaine Stanbury from his own 10-yard line. Back to pass. Has time. Fires one out. Jarrell Jefferson, he's got it. He's down the field, 30 to the 35 to the 40. That's a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge 1st down. A huge play by the Wildcats, and the drive extended. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
And it's only about a 10-yard pass downfield. But Blaine Stansbury showed some arm strength. He threw that ball probably 25 or 30 yards. It was a long throw across the field. But the defender, the cornerback, was playing so far off Jarrell, worried about getting beat deep on 3rd and long, that Jarrell actually slipped out of his cut coming back to the ball, still was able to recover and still make the guy miss. There was just so much soft coverage right there. Oak Ridge made him pay.
1st down, 10 yards to go. Wayne Gibson moves the ball outside, cuts across the 45, and is tackled at that point. Poor old Wayne just can't get any more than about 4 or 5 yards, but right now, that's a big chunk of yards. The clock continues to move. It's a gain of 5. 2nd down, 5 yards to go.
And you can just tell, going back to that 3rd down, Oak Ridge has not been able to hit the deep ball tonight. They just haven't. And clearly Science Hill has emphasized don't get beat by big plays. So Oak Ridge just had to drive the ball, and to their credit, they've converted a lot of 2nd and 3rd downs to keep drives going. But because of that, they got guys on the run side of the deal, though. They are playing incredibly they're playing well, and they're playing discipline in the run game, I should say.
2nd down, 5 yards to go, 6 minutes to play. Blaine's going to throw it out of the backfield to Jemerson. Jemerson moves the ball. He's going to be short of a 1st down by about 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 2. The ball is at the 47-yard line of the Wildcats, 5:50 and counting. Wildcats a little closer. It's still 2 yards. 3rd down, we'll call it long 1.5 yards or so. Wildcats, 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and I don't think you're in any particular hurry because there's 5.5 minutes or so left in this one, 5:31 on the clock. Both teams, I believe, have 3 timeouts. It's impossible, but the scoreboard shows that Science Hill has 4 timeouts. I'm going to assume that they have all 3. So Oak Ridge in no rush here. I wouldn't be shocked if they don't run this thing down and call a timeout with about 2 seconds on the play clock.
That's what they're going to do. We're going to take it with them. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 60 seconds.
Football Boosters wants to send a huge heartfelt thank you to the Oak Ridge High School cheer team, Wildcat Pride, and the Wildcats for bringing the perfect amount of pep to Blankenship Field each week. Our football team, coaches, and boosters truly appreciate the energy and support from these amazing crews.
Third down, 2 yards to go from the 48-yard line. The Wildcats, 5:14 to play in the game. Blaine Stansbury's going to hand it off to Wayne. He is going to squeak forward for, I believe, a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down. He needed to get to the 50. He was hit behind the line and somehow got to the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 Wildcats. Great second effort there by Wayne Gibson to give Oak Ridge the first down.
Great little run by Oak Ridge there, just enough to move the change, and now the ball's at the 50-yard line. David, a score of interest at halftime. Green Hill scored 21 unanswered points. They're up over Smyrna at half, 28-14.
Of course, the winner of this game plays the winner of that game. If Green Hill wins, it's at Green Hill. If Smyrna wins, it could be at Blankenship Field if the Wildcats can win this one. Blaine Stansbury rolling, firing a pass. Ooh, that's a dangerous one. There was only one receiver and a lot of yellow shirts around it. 4:28 to play. It's 2nd and 10, 31-28 Wildcats.
Yeah, you made the noise that my brain was thinking, which was, ooh, that was a close call. Thankfully, Blaine had enough arm strength in there to fit that in, but there were a lot of white shirts there. A dangerous pass, but it falls harmlessly to the turf.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 50-yard line. Adam Washington, Zayden Williams, Jarrell Jimerson splitting off to the left. Wildcats have not gone to Malik in a while. You're exactly right. We're down to 4:28 to play in the game. It is 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Blaine Stansbury with Jarrell Jimerson in motion towards the Oak Ridge sideline. Blaine's going to run it. He didn't have much room, and only a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 9. The Hilltopper fans think there's a fumble. There's no gain on the play. The Wildcats can't get conservative. The Wildcats have got to do what they do best. That time when Blaine's been able to run, he's been getting outside. He hasn't had a whole lot in the middle.
No, those defensive tackles, it just so powerful, so disciplined. They stay in their lanes, and they've just been really impressive all night long. Oak Ridge is going to have to do what they've done all night, and really even last week. They didn't do much offensively, but when they did, it was through the air. Without Demillion Porter, the run game right now is just not quite as proficient as the pass game, and they're going to have to go to the air on 3rd down.
3rd down, 10 yards to go from midfield. Blaine's going to pass. He's in trouble now. Now he's running. He moves to 45. He's got the 40. He slides forward. He might have slid before the 1st down marker. He's going to be about a yard short. It is going to be 4th down and a yard to go. He needed to get to the 40. He slid at the 41, so it's 4th down and a yard to go. Science Hill will call a timeout. We'll keep it right here, guys. He didn't want to get him hurt, but he needed to get one more yard to keep the drive going. Now the Wildcats are going to have to convert a 4th down and 1.
Yeah, and I understand why he did it, because his entire life as a quarterback, he's been told, slide, don't take a hit. He tried to get the 1st down. He slid past the 1st down, but unfortunately he started that slide about a yard and a half short, and that's where they mark him. It's the correct call. I wish they would have been incorrect and called him a first, but if I'm taking my cardinal and gray sunglasses off, looking at the play, that's the right call. So now you wonder if you see this big package that we've seen in goal line situations with Tim Walters and Liam Gerber coming into the ballgame.
We'll see what they do here. The Wildcats need about a yard. It's actually maybe just slightly, well, it's a little bit more of a yard. It's 4th and a yard to go. It's a big play, obviously. 3:22 to play in the game. Wildcats need to extend this drive, not get the ball back to the Hilltoppers. Blaine Stansbury at quarterback, 4th down and a yard to go. Runs up, and the Wildcats, there's movement on the line, but I think the movement was on Science Hill, which initiated the contact with the Oak Ridge player. And if that's the case, that's a 5-yard step off, and that is the case. There was movement on the right side of the line, so now it is 4th down and 5. So another procedural call hurts the Wildcats. The ball's at the 46-yard line, and now what does Oak Ridge do? That's Wildcats have had some serious 5-yard penalties, which have really hurt them.
They really have. Oak Ridge is acting like they want to go for it. I think I'd punt it and trust your defense, especially with your offense sputtering, but they're going to call a timeout.
3 minutes, 22 seconds to play. 31-28, the Wildcats in the lead. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back to Blankenship Field. 31-28, Wildcats back in 30 seconds.
They just keep putting themselves behind the chain. I get so angry.
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. The Wildcats in the lead. Let's see if they go with a hard count right here to try to get them to jump off sides. They haven't shown any movement when the Wildcats have tried that. 4th and 6, the ball near midfield. Blaine Stansbury at quarterback. They are going to go. Blaine back to pass. Jarrell Jimerson. The pass is intercepted. Why in the world did we not punt right there? Why in the world? They're going to get the ball at the 40-yard line and beyond with 3:16 to play in the game.
I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. I will say an interception looks bad on paper, but, I mean, if they just drop that ball, they're going to get about 5 or 6 more yards closer to midfield. But I'm with you. I mean, you've got an all-state caliber top 5 finalist as a punter. I know he didn't punt well the last time out, but I would have trusted this defense. It's been so good all year, but that's not the decision that was made, so now they're got to rely on him.
Number 8's running the ball. He's trying to get outside. He does. 50. Oh, nice tackle there. The Wildcats come out of nowhere to make the stop. Blake Woody tried to track him down. He gains close to first down yardage. We're down to 3:03 to play in the game. Wildcats have had trouble slowing him down. Wayne Gibson makes the stop. The ball's at the 50. 1st and 10. Clock moving. 2:57 to play. The Hilltoppers trying to get a touchdown and win it, or try to get a field goal to tie it. Not much time left. 2:50 to play. First down. 10 yards to go at the 50. Clement back to pass. Goes deep. Pass is going to be almost intercepted. There was a big collision between Jarrell Jimerson and their receiver. Jarrell, I think, just got bumped and slowed down just a bit. Might have been able to pick that off. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and now you start looking. Oak Ridge had to take 2 timeouts on that last offensive series. So if, heaven forbid, Science Hill's able to score here and takes the lead, you only got 1 timeout. So this defense has to come up with a stop.
They're trying to run, trying to get outside. Nowhere to go but down to the turf. We might have a face mask, though. A face mask might give them the first down. The Wildcats stopped them behind the line, but we might have a face mask. We'll check the call.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. Tim Walters had him wrapped up. There was another Wildcat that came in late. I'm not sure who it's going to be on, but it's really the only thing it could be because there was no blockers in the area, and it's unfortunate. That's going to be an automatic first down, and just like that, they're across midfield and inside the Oak Ridge 40-yard line.
Yeah, the ball is going to be at the 35-yard line. I still can't believe we did not punt the ball. They've got the ball at the Oak Ridge 35. Still plenty of time. 2:25 and counting. 1st and 10. Clement at quarterback. Lane Clement back to pass. Across the way. Pass caught. Breaks a tackle. Moves the ball inside the 30. Tackled at the 28. Shy of a first down. 2:13 and counting. Wildcats. JT Gormley still not in the ball game. Blake Woody playing linebacker. Hopefully not re-injuring that elbow that he had injured. 2 minutes to play in the ball game. It's 2nd down, 3 yards to go. Clement, the Wyoming quarterback, back to pass across the way, wide open, 20, 15, 10, 5, 3, 2, all the way inside the 5-yard line. First and goal, Johnson City, Science Hill. A minute 47 to play in the ball game. The Wildcats season on the brink right now.
Yeah, it's actually Caden Stewart who's not in there. JT Gormley and Woody both in the game at linebacker on that play. And again, here come Bafford and Malik Howard as Oak Ridge gets a little more beef up there up front. They've got to hold. Boy, you don't want to say this, but if they're going to score, you almost would rather let them do it now, because if they can run 40, 50 more seconds on the clock, you can't stop it.
31-28 the score. The Wildcats do stop them right at the line of scrimmage, and the clock moves. A minute 18 to play. Science Hill with the touchdown beats Oak Ridge at Blankenship Field. It'll be second down, a goal to go at the 3-yard line. A minute 8 to play in the ball game. 31-28 the score. Science Hill trying to advance to the second round. Clement gets the snap, hands off to the running back, hit in the backfield, down he goes at the 5, they'll lose yardage. Back at the 6-yard line, under a minute to play. 49 seconds to play. It'll be third down, goal to go, timeout, Johnson City. Wow. Coming down to this, they stop him at the 5. It'll be third down, goal to go at the 5-yard line.
Huge play, not just because they stopped him, but Dave, because they pushed him back. And so now, taking the ball back to the 5, it's not an automatic that they're going to run this ball. I don't understand, though, if you're Science Hill, why did you call a timeout with 49 seconds? You could have bled the clock down under 20 seconds or so and then gone for it on third. And then the worst case scenario, you have it 4th and goal with 15 seconds and you kick a field goal for the tie. Now, if you decide to throw this, Oak Ridge is going to end up getting the ball back if you don't score on this play. Oak Ridge is going to get the ball back with more than 30 seconds left. And again, it's still not a lot of time, but I don't understand why Johnson City called a timeout right there, because, again, if they're able to score or tie, they've just left Oak Ridge with 30 seconds on the clock. Huge play coming up as both teams are out on the field.
Third down, goal to go. The ball at the Oak Ridge 5-yard line. 49 seconds to play. Oak Ridge up 31-28. Ball's at the 5-yard line. Lane Clement, the quarterback. He's got the snap. Back to pass. Pressured. What's the call? Not exactly sure. I didn't see any flags. And there is a flag there. And what is it? It is going to be dead ball foul, illegal procedure, Johnson City, Science Hill. So it'll be third down, goal to go at the 10-yard line. And delay of game is the call.
What? How often do we see that in high school, out of a timeout, a delay of game? I never have understood it, but it works in benefit for the Wildcats. Now third and goal from the 10. You know it's a pass situation. Oak Ridge has Bafford, Walters up there up front to rush the quarterback.
Here's the throw in the end zone. Incomplete pass interference. Pass interference at the goal line. It'll be automatic first down. First and goal at the 5 with 40 seconds to play.
That's just a call you simply don't see. There was contact, but there's two guys fighting and jockeying for a position. Nobody pushed or shoved the other any more than the other. It's just two guys going for it as the ball goes up in the air, and the ball really wasn't particularly close, and they call that flag, and it's an automatic first. That's just a good gracious. That's not a, I mean, that's a call at any other point in this game. That's a no call, but late in the game, they're going to call. I can't believe it.
First down. Actually, it's third down. Goal to go at the 5-yard line. 40 seconds to play. Clement back to pass. Rolls. End zone pass. Caught. Touchdown. Johnson City. Science Hill. Wildcats didn't get a whole lot of pressure, and they score with 35 seconds to play. Oak Ridge now trails it 34-31. The Wildcats, with so many opportunities in this game, give up the score, and they'll go for the extra point.
Yeah, just you took the words out of my mouth, Dave. They just didn't get any pressure. And this quarterback, Clement, he is a gamer. He is one of, if not the best quarterback that I've seen Oak Ridge play all year, and you just can't afford to give him that much time.
Here's the kick. It's up, and it is good. Johnson City leads Oak Ridge 35-31. 35 seconds to play in the season for one of these two teams, the Wildcats. 35-31. The Wildcats have led the entire game, but the Wildcats, wow, that's all you can say. I still cannot believe, and I'm not criticizing, I'm not a coach, but why they did not punt, I do not know. They went for it and didn't get it, and the result is a go-ahead score, maybe the go-ahead and winning score for the Science Hill Hilltoppers.
Yeah, and you know, if there's time to breathe some positivity, it's now. I'm with you, David, but I will say on that note, if Science Hill calls a timeout, lets the play clock run on third down and calls a timeout like I was suggesting they should have, Oak Ridge gets the ball right here with about 10 to 15 seconds. Instead, they call that timeout early, and Oak Ridge is going to have a shot. Now, they're not going to have much of one. The chances are slim, but they do have one timeout. So Oak Ridge, with a couple of playmakers, if you can get this ball up to the midfield, maybe down to the 40-yard line with 5 seconds or so to go to give yourself a shot, I think it's a chance. So that's what you have to hope. This guy's kicked the ball into the end zone, so hopefully maybe he miskicks this one. We'll see, but just what a turn of events. This has been a back-and-forth game, and I'm with you, David. I just cannot believe we didn't punt the ball on that fourth down.
Here's the kick. It's end over end kick. It's going to be returnable by the Wildcats at the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over.
Yes.
28 seconds to play in the ball game. Will Presley needs to come into the game and streak down the field and score a long touchdown. Jarrell Jimerson on the return, a flag on the play. Hopefully not a block in the back. If that's the case, they'll be stepping yardage even farther back for the Wildcats. And they're going to, it's a penalty against Science Hill. Wow.
Yeah, it's
all the way up to the
collar,
45-yard line. 28 seconds personal foul against the Hilltoppers. 28 seconds to play. The Wildcats have one timeout remaining. 1st and 10. Blaine Stansbury, senior quarterback, the all-time leading passer in Oak Ridge history, comes onto the field. The Wildcats down 35-31. Stansbury with a running back to his right. 3-man front. Stansbury fires a pass, caught at the 50, does not get out of bounds. The Wildcats are going to have to call a timeout. 21 seconds to play. You got to get out of bounds there. They're at the 49-yard line. 21 seconds to play. The Wildcats are now, I believe, out of timeouts, guys. It'll be second down and about 6 yards to go.
Yeah, you hate to use your final timeout on a gain of 4. I thought Will had a shot one-on-one, and I know that's, I think, where they were trying to go initially, but boy, Will is out there. Before they called that timeout, when the offense thought that they were about to run another play, Will Presley is out there like a bull in a ring. His legs are literally shaking back and forth like he's revving up the engine and squealing the tires. He wants this ball. He wants to make a play. One of Oak Ridge's best duos in history, Blaine Stansbury, Will Presley. The time is now. This could be one of your final plays in the Cardinal and Gray. I think they got to go to 2 right here. They've got to give him a shot. If they give him one-on-one coverage, if they can potentially drag a safety over, you got to give him a shot.
Second down 6. Blaine back to pass. Is going to go deep. Will Presley's there. Pass is made. Oh, he drops it. Wow. Right at around the 5-yard line. That would have been 6 points for the Wildcats. He was open. It is down to 14 seconds to play. Man, he almost had a touchdown.
Yeah, and looking at the huddle, Malik looked like he wanted that one. I was focused on Will, admittedly, so potentially Malik was there. But to me, there's 2 balls. There's a lot of talented players in this offense. There's 2 places this ball can go. It's to number 2 or number 3. That's your only options right now. You've got to have something big.
Third down, 6 yards to go, 14 seconds to go. Blaine again to throw it. Pass is caught. He's got to get out of bounds. It's a first down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. They stopped the clock. 2 seconds. Should have stopped earlier to move the chains for a first down.
No, this is perfect, though, David, because
the clock should have stopped.
They're going to have to talk and have to put about 7 or 8
the Wildcats
seconds on the
have
clock,
it at
which is
the
perfect
31-yard line. On the scoreboard, it says 2 seconds.
What they want this play to be. There should be probably 6 or 7 seconds left on this clock. But again, if I'm Science Hill, I'm upset because Oak Ridge is taking some time to draw up what they want right here.
The clock is going to start immediately. Well, it's ticked off. They're going to put 7 seconds on the clock. 7 seconds on the clock. It's 35-31. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 31-yard line of the Hilltoppers. They're playing everybody back deep. Wildcats spike it with 6 seconds.
Wow. It's not often I'm speechless, David, but this has been a terrific ball game, win or lose. I think with 6 seconds, no timeouts, this has got to go to the end zone. They're going to line up Will Presley and Malik Howard on the same side, and I like that because what you're going to do is you're going to force those deep safeties to choose one. They're probably going to cross them, might run a wheel route. They're going to get those two some crossing actions likely, and that ball's got to go to one of the two. I would like Malik in a jump ball situation.
Second down, Blaine back to pass, has all day. He's going to throw it into the end zone. There's the man, pass is there, it's up for grabs. It is incomplete, intercepted, ball game. Congratulations to the Science Hill Hilltoppers. They have upset the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats by a final score of 35-31. It's pandemonium for the Hilltoppers as they beat Oak Ridge 35-31, ending a great season for the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats. Crushing defeat for the Wildcats here at Blankenship Field. Final score 35-31.
Little turn of events, David. You would have never thought going into halftime this was a game you were going to lose. You had all the momentum. You had everything pointing your way. But credit to Science Hill. They did not stop fighting. It was Oak Ridge who took advantage of Science Hill mistakes in the first half. But in the second half, Science Hill capitalized on Oak Ridge mistakes. And this is going to hurt for a long, long time because you walk away feeling like this is a game Oak really should have won.
The two teams shake hands at the center of the field. 35-31. The Wildcats close out their year at 9-2. The Hilltoppers will advance to the second round. They are now 8-3 on the year. A great class of seniors playing their last game here at Blankenship Field. A very disappointing end for the season. The Wildcats really were in control most of the ball game. Some huge plays against them, some other things that just happened during the course of the game. And the Hilltoppers, well deserving, as you said, never gave up, always kept fighting, and they win the ball game 35-31. Crushing defeat by the Wildcats, for the Wildcats. Just unbelievable here at Blankenship Field.
Yeah, David, I really wouldn't have believed this the way the turn of events were. But give Johnson City credit; they played their hearts out, and the Wildcats just couldn't get it done. And it's a very disappointing ending to what I consider a very good season for the Wildcats. Just a tough loss.
You know, I'm not a coach, and I know coaches like to, put the ball in the hands of their team, but man, I wish they had punted that football. I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, Oak Ridge defense still had to make plays, but I wish they had punted that football, backed them up, and made them have the drive because there wasn't much time left in the clock. But, Like I said, it's very easy for me to sit up here and say that, but man, I wish they had punted that ball.
I totally agree with that. I just knew they would. And Alex said the same thing. Now's the time to punt the ball. And Keith Howard was texting him, and he said the same thing. Okay, we need to punt. Well, it didn't happen, and we end up losing the game. So it's very disappointing.
Coach Rang's talking to the team, a very disappointed group of Wildcats, a great senior class. Their season comes to a close, 35-31. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with our post-game show and the interview with Coach Rang, the stats, following this 3-minute timeout. We appreciate Todd Fox and all of our sponsors who've been with us all season long. Very disappointing loss, Alex Myers. I know you're waiting to talk to Coach Rang. The seniors obviously very disappointed. Tough way to close out their year after just a phenomenal 9-0 start to lose back-to-back ball games in a game, and nothing against Science Hill. I mean, I liked them. They had a great quarterback, as you said, had a great running back, but the Wildcats, I think, had the better team. They just didn't have enough plays in them, and Science Hill made some big plays, and it eventually just hurt the Wildcats.
Yeah, and I was trying to give Coach Rang a second because he was going around and talking and hugging some of his players, and I felt like that was probably the right thing to do, was to to give him a moment to do that and kind of be patient. But I'm looking at the way, and he's kind of halfway up the steps, so I'm not sure if he kind of pointed back like, give me a second, so I don't know if he's going to come back down or not. I think he is, but in the meantime, Dave, I just want to say the vibe on the field, it's always sad. There's a part of you that appreciates when you see these guys so upset because you know how much it means to them. And as a fan, it means a lot, but it never means quite as much as it does to these guys who are putting on the jersey. But, of course, a lot of these seniors just incredibly emotional and tears, and you can't blame them. And I think part of what makes this so tough, David, is it was so unexpected. You knew this was a solid team coming in here, but even throughout most of the game, even amongst the mistakes, it just felt like Oak Ridge was the better team and that they were going to find a way to pull it out, and it wasn't until mere seconds left where the scoreboard flipped, and really for the first time all game Oak Ridge had trailed. I think the kind of spontaneity and the immediate recognition of that right at the end of the game, it all happened so quick, and a lot of these guys just highly, highly emotional, David.
Penalties were a problem. So didn't have the real big ones. The obviously the face mask penalty when they really had him kind of backed up. They would have lost yardage on the play, extended the drive, and then the pass interference call, down in the end zone. The Wildcats had some troubles in games with penalties in the past, and those two penalties right there set up for that final score. The Wildcats just the block punt. There's a lot of things you can look back and think, well, just things just didn't go our way. But those two penalties, the face mask and that pass interference, huge call. But I go back to it again, and I don't like, I like Coach Rang and I like his staff, but I just think there you just had to punt the ball, back them up, make them drive 80 yards.
It's again, I'm with you. It's nothing against these guys. It's just we like them, but I do agree because of the situation. If your offense was humming, perhaps, but your offense had been struggling. If it was tied, maybe, but you had the lead, and I think Oak Ridge, their defense, obviously, they had kind of been beaten around the last couple of games by a couple of quality opponents, but they give up 35 points, but really 7 of those came off of a blocked field goal attempt. I think it would be, as here, Coach Rain, if you got just a minute. Yeah, I've got a quick second. Coach, obviously disappointing loss. Is a tough team came in. Both teams, I thought, made some mistakes, but in the end, it wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, we I thought we played a good first half, and then to be up 21-14 at halftime, I thought was like, okay, we played a really good first half, and we were up 21-14. The middle eight, they killed us. The run before the half, we come out, had a good drive, get the field goal. Well, I guess 24-14 at the half. I thought we played a good first half, and I felt like in the second half, we just played really good, and they kind of made some plays in the second half to get the game close, and then it kind of turned into one of those things that they had the ball there at the end and scored, and we had a couple chances there, but it just didn't bounce our way tonight.
I have to ask one question. Towards the end there, you guys, I think, called a timeout and decided to go for it on that fourth down. What was going on through your staff's mind? Why was that decision to go ahead and try to go for that and stay aggressive versus maybe punting the ball away?
Yeah, we're trying to end the game. I think if you get it there and end the game, we didn't really feel good about stopping them. They just we would play man coverage and somebody would always be free, and there just wasn't a lot of consistency there on down-to-down defense for us. We weren't getting pressure. They did a good job picking up the blitzes. We didn't really blitz with authority. So it was kind of like, well, let's just try to win it, and then, whatever happens. And heck, we about stopped them down there. We had them in, a potential fourth down situation with, there's pass interference there. But that was the mindset, was maybe just go ahead and end it, and when it come down to it, we just made a few more mistakes tonight than we had in previous games.
Last question. It's not really a question. I just want you to talk. I know it's immediacy. You'll have time to think about this more, but the seniors, the guys who this was their last night on Blankenship Field, what do those guys mean to this program?
Meant a lot. It's kind of one of those things that obviously a big senior group this year, and we've kind of had our trials and tribulations with them, but they've been with me for a long time, and we just wish them well. Appreciate their service to Oak Ridge football. Wish it could have ended better. Losing your last two games, and now you go from 9-0 to 9-2 being done. So, but just appreciate what they did, and hopefully we can, bounce back next year and try to, correct some stuff that kind of slid down the stretch towards the end of this year.
I appreciate your time, Coach.
Thank you.
David, I'll send it back to you.
Let's take a break here. Actually, let's get Mike in here to run down the scoring summary. 35-31, the disappointing news here from Blankenship Field. Mike, you've got the scoring summary.
Okay, thank you, David. Very disappointing night, but the Wildcats got off to a really good start when they blocked that punt down here on the 22-yard line. Wayne Gibson blocked it. Dylan Woolley picked it up and ran it in from 22 yards out. And the Wildcats, with 11 minutes and 13 seconds left in the second quarter, went up 6-0. Then Eli Pearson kick was good, and the Wildcats led 7-0. Then, with only 12 seconds off the clock, Lane Clement, their quarterback, threw a double pass. He threw one to Aiden Perry, the running back, and Aiden Perry reared back and threw it to Brandon Newberry, and Brandon ran it in from 80 yards out to put the Hilltoppers on the board 7-6. Then Carter Lockman came in for the Hilltoppers and tied the game up at 7-7. But with 5 minutes and 25 seconds left in the second quarter, Blaine Stanbury threw a jump ball back in the right-hand corner of the end zone to who else? Malik Howard for a 4-yard touchdown, and the Wildcats retook the lead 13-7. Then Eli Pearson came in and kicked it up between the uprights, and the Wildcats led 14-7. And then with only 59 seconds left, Blaine Stansbury threw a 13-yard touchdown again to Malik Howard, and the Wildcats went up 20-7. Eli Pearson came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats led 21-7. But with only 18 seconds left, Adrian Perry, the running back for the Johnson City Hilltoppers, ran one in from 50 yards out to put the Hilltoppers back on the scoreboard again. Wildcats leading 21-13. Carter Lockman's kick was good, and the Wildcats were only up by a touchdown. But then, with no time left on the clock, actually, Eli Pearson came in and kicked his 19th field goal of the year, a record for the Wildcats, from 35 yards out, and the Wildcats went up at the half 24-14. Then in the third quarter, Eli Pearson had a field goal blocked. They picked it up. Darren Hill picked it up for the Hilltoppers, ran it back 89 yards, a backbreaker for the Wildcats. And the Wildcats were still up 24-20. Then Carter Lockman came in and kicked another extra point, and the Hilltoppers only trailed by 3 points. Then with a minute and 59 seconds left in the third quarter, Blaine Stansbury ran one in from 7 yards out and put the Wildcats back up 30-21. Eli Pearson came in, Mr. Reliable, and the Wildcats went back up by 10, 31-21. And this is where the wheels came off for the Wildcats. In the fourth quarter, Lane Clement threw a 24-yard pass for a touchdown, and the score was 27-31. Carter Lockman came in and kicked it between the uprights, and they only trailed 28-31. And then with a mere 35 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Lane Clement threw a 10-yard touchdown, a 10-yard touchdown to Branson Newberry, and the Hilltoppers went up 34-31. Carter Lockman came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats lose a heartbreaker, 35-31, David.
Yeah, tough loss for the Wildcats. Their season comes to a close at 9-2 on the year. The Hilltoppers will move on to play either Green Hill or Smyrna. Green Hill was up like to thank, I know Mark's going to do the statistics here in a bit, but I'd like to thank Brian Bennett for being our engineer back at the station all season long, and our camera guys as well. Matthew Charles, been with us most of the year. David Urbanowitz, Grayson Brown, and let's see, tonight we have Wyatt Lanny, and let's see, Connor Sharp as well, did our camera work. But just a very disappointing way to close it out, Mike. I mean, up most of the game, really controlled most of the game, but just couldn't hold on.
I know it was one of the most disappointing losses I've probably witnessed in a long time. It's just such an exciting game. Nobody knows how I enjoy watching football. But it's all to end the season on a loss like this, to have such a great and wonderful season. You know, they need to hang their head up. I'd give anything when I was playing if we'd gone 9-2. These guys are really good, and I'm really disappointed that it ended like this. But, David, it's been an enjoyable ride, and I just appreciate being part of these broadcasts, and I hope the Oak Ridge fans have enjoyed it as well.
Let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back with Mark and Shauna's final stats. Final score of the ball game: Science Hill defeats the Wildcats 35-31. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 2 minutes.
Are you going to do any basketball?
I don't know. I'll probably do some if he asks me to, but I don't usually do a ton of them.
I know you don't, but I just was going to ask. You need to remember this right here. I wrote it down for you. You made it fun, Alec. Thank you.
No, you're the one that keeps it fun.
I'm really disappointed. Dang it.
No.
I was all ready to get on the road next week.
I was looking forward to a long trip. Those are fun, those long playoff trips.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Well, such is life. You know, it's just you and me talking, but that was...
Welcome back to Blankenship Field. We send it over to Mark Haste with the final stats.
Mark.
Oak Ridge falls to Science Hill tonight. Looking at the statistics for Oak Ridge led on the ground by quarterback Blaine Stanbury at 80 yards on 15 carries. Wayne Gibson, 59 yards on 20 carries. Wildcats had 139 yards as a team rushing on 35 carries. It's an average of 4 yards per carry. Through the air, Wildcats, Blaine Stansbury, he was 27 of 40 with 3 interceptions. Obviously, the last play of the game was an interception, kind of a Hail Mary. Jarrell Jimerson, he was 0 of 1. So as a team, the Wildcats were 27 of 41 passing for 332 yards. Receiving for the Wildcats, they were led by Jarrell Jimerson. He had 142 yards on 11 receptions. That's an average of 13 yards per reception. Malik Howard, 5 receptions for 54 yards. Will Presley, 2 receptions for 36 yards. Zayden Williams, he had 3 receptions for 34 yards. Wayne Gibson, 2 receptions for 33 yards. Adam Washington, 3 receptions for 29 yards. And Amarian Willis had a 4-yard reception for the Wildcats. So as a team, the Wildcats had 139 yards on the ground. They had 332 yards through the air for a total offense tonight of 471. They had 26 first downs in the ballgame. Very impressive. They were penalized 10 times for 70 yards. Now looking at Science Hill, they were led on the ground by number 8, Aiden Perry. He had 14 carries for exactly 100 yards. Nalik Anderson had 5 carries for 21 yards. So as a team, the Hilltoppers rushed the ball 19 times, gaining 121 yards on the ground. That's an average of 6.4 yards per carry, much higher than what the Wildcats were averaging going into postseason, or at least before the Maryville game. Through the air, quarterback for the Hilltoppers, Lane Clement, he was 14 of 24 for 226 yards. Receiving, they were led by Branson Newberry. He had 111 yards on 5 receptions. Marcus Jones, 3 receptions for 38 yards. Nalik Anderson, he had a 26-yard reception. Tyler Holder with a 24-yard reception. Braden Austin, 2 receptions totaling 16 yards. Aiden Perry, he had a 6-yard reception, and Jabril Fain had a 5-yard reception. So as a team, the Hilltoppers had 121 yards on the ground, 226 yards through the air, for a total offense tonight of 347 yards. They had 15 first downs. In the ballgame, they were penalized 6 times for 45 yards. So quickly looking at the team side by side, rushing yards, Oak Ridge 139, Science Hill 121. Passing yards, Oak Ridge with 332, Science Hill 226. Total offense, Oak Ridge had 471 total offensive yards, Science Hill 347. First downs, Oak Ridge had 26. Science Hill had 15. Penalties, Oak Ridge 10 penalties for 70 yards, and Science Hill 6 penalties for 65 yards. So again, this is Mark Hayes, where Oak Ridge falls tonight to Science Hill by a final score of 35-31. David?
Thank you. We'll keep it right here just for a moment, and Dave will close us out. But Mike, I guess your final thoughts on not just tonight's game, but this season as a whole. It seems like it takes 4 or 5 years for football season to get here. Then you blink 2 or 3 times and it's over. And unfortunately, this one ended sooner than we were hoping. But Mike, your final thoughts on another season?
It was a great season. Like I said, anybody can go 9-2. That's a tremendous performance, especially with the schedule they had. It was brutal. I mean, they played some big 6A teams, much bigger than them. But they performed well until, last week at Maryville, and then the very disappointing loss tonight. What can I say? It just wasn't meant to be, I guess. But it's been a great season. I've enjoyed being around this and watching. It's been a super exciting season. Lots of great ups and downs. And, I really hated it ended on such a downer, but that's football. It's the way it is. That's why it's so exciting. You never know who's going to win. That's why they play the game. So hopefully we can rebuild and have another great year next year, Alec.
Yeah, and I want to take a minute before I give my final thoughts to thank the sponsors once again. Obviously, we've got a lot of them, and tonight in particular, we had several. We had Jan Marie West, we had Kevin Faust, we had Josh Stansbury, and then obviously we had Susan Steck as well. And I'm trying to find, which I should have already had this out, but I'm trying to find our final list of sponsors if I can get it, because Mike, if anybody's going to leave somebody off accidentally, it would be me. And so if you'll bear with us for just a moment or two more, we'll try to do that. But as I'm looking for that, I'll go ahead and give my final thoughts, which is first and foremost, I'm proud to be an Oak Ridger. This team made me proud throughout the season, and I can't tell you how much of a pleasure and how appreciative of the opportunity that I am to get to come up here and I love calling games, I love broadcasting, but more than anything, I love hanging out with you and Dave and the camera guys and Mark and Shauna. And you guys are a great group, and just the ability to get on here and do this every week is really fun. And David, don't kill me. I'm not seeing the final sheet of sponsors, but I know that we'll get to them. But I guess my final thoughts in the game, Mike, is just disappointing. I mean, in a word, it's disappointing. The season was going so well. You're 9-0, and you knew that you had played some teams who maybe weren't quite as tough as some teams you were going to play in the future. But all signs pointed to that Maryville game, and it looked like it was going to just be a tremendous matchup. Maryville was favored, obviously, but you thought that this would be a real chance for Oak Ridge to prove themselves, and we all know how that game went. It didn't go well, and you wondered all week kind of behind the scenes, okay, how would this team respond? And thought they responded well. In the first half, they came out, they had a good lead, and like Coach Rang was referencing, you got a 10-point lead at halftime. You're moving the ball well. You've made some mistakes, but you feel like if you clean things up, this is a pretty easy ball game, and you've got it. But that wasn't the case, and hats off to Science Hill. They made a lot of plays and capitalized on some Oak Ridge mistakes. But the season as a whole, I mean, this group, you talk about Blaine Stansbury, Will Presley, those guys have given Oak Ridge fans some of the best memories and some of the most memories per player of any Wildcats that have ever donned the uniform. And you got a guy like Tim Walters, a guy like Jarrell Jimerson, Jared Bafford, Elijah Young, and I don't want to go down this list because I'll miss a bunch. And the guys behind the scenes who don't get a ton of playing time, but that have just given so much for Oak Ridge, and who 60 years from now will be coming down the steps and going, hey, I remember that season we had. And tonight's going to hurt, but the season as a whole was a really fun one. And as usual, I'm rambling, David, but I'll send it back to you. But again, thank you to all the listeners for letting us do this, and the sponsors for allowing us to get on the air. And David, most of all, to you for doing this for, I don't know how many, 40-something years, maybe more, since the 80s, I think. But this is a thankless job, and people don't know how many hours you put on behind the scenes to make these things happen. The Wednesday nights you're out filming, JV stuff, getting all this stuff, and then the work's not done. People don't know this, but David's gonna get to work producing highlight films and doing things for these kids and stuff that he's not getting paid for. And I know that you're cringing right now. You hate me saying that, David, but I want to say thank you because everything you've done for this program and this community, as well as everyone on this crew, it's much appreciated.
I appreciate that, Alex. That's really nice. It's a labor of love. I've said that for many years. It is 40-plus years, and this kind of ranks in one of the more disappointing ball games. But I was listening to Mike talk, and Mike's always upbeat, and that'll give me a little joy. But I do want to run down the sponsors real quick here, because as we say every single week, we can't get on the air without them. The Fox Insurance Group, OBGYN Associates of Oak Ridge, East Tennessee Spine and Sport, Oak Ridge Utility District, Betsy Coleman Realty, the Jackson Square Barbershop, Nathan Miser with Shelter Insurance, the Knoxville Orthopedic Clinic of Oak Ridge, Dr. Bill Linehan, DDS, 10 Bank of Oak Ridge, Summit Medical Group of Oak Ridge, TK Wheeler Jewelers, Dr. John Burgess, state champion. He's a dentist. Main Street Lofts, MacArthur Animal Hospital, the Pizza Inn, Jimmy Norman with Joyce, Meredith, Flitcroft, and Norman, Fats Barbecue, the Oak Ridge Pharmacy, David Ewan with, he's a CPA, Sexton Automotive, Oak Ridge Boosters Club, Tennessee Army National Guard, Bob's Washboard and Bob's Wash and Fold, and Laura Lynn Green with State Farm Insurance. We could not get on the air without them. And unfortunately, it all ends here tonight. For football, we're going to start basketball a week from Monday when the Wildcats take on Oliver Springs. I know these kids are hurting. It's a tough way to close it out after a run to the Final Four a year ago, but it just wasn't to be, and the final score is posted on the board. And I appreciate all of you all, Mike, Alex, all our camera guys, Brian Bennett. We will not be doing basketball on the radio. We'll be streaming most of the ball games, but we do appreciate FM 92.7 WIJV for being with us for multiple years. When WATO went down, they stepped up, and we've been on the air with them ever since. That about does it. Guys, I'm going to close it out for you all. Oak Ridge basketball starts on the 17th against Oliver Springs. Final score of the ball game here from Blankenship Field. The Wildcats are defeated 35-31. Until that Oliver Springs ball game, this is David Clary from Mike Sheehan and Alex Myers and all of our camera guys saying so long, everybody.